The world is full of wonders.
Magic is stirring with all new potential.
And monsters might be danger or a friend in a fight.
But if you love a good story,
the adventures are just getting started.
Are you ready to meet some new friends along the way?
This is the Storyteller Squad Expanded Universe. Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for the third installment of our Expanded Universe series, featuring our lovely guest players from across the TTRPG creator space. This is episode 3 of 4, which can be enjoyed as a standalone adventure, but also connects to the story of our main series and our ongoing Monster of the Week campaign. If you're joining us for the first time, thanks for tuning in. Just be aware that there are minor spoilers ahead. But before we begin, let's check in with our heroes.
I just want to make sure everybody's following proper safety protocol in this establishment. I noticed that there are enough fire exits, and that's a good start. Making sure everyone's being safe is my number one priority. I'm Frank Newman, he, him.
One of these days, I'm actually going to befriend the folk and learn their ways. But until then, nerdy fantasy-themed cocktails are almost like alchemy, right? I'm Jackie Fumagalli, she, her.
Damn it. I don't think this batch of code is going to work by the time I'm supposed to go get that midnight snack.
If you do not get us the snacks, there will be hell to pay.
Listen, pal, you gotta chill out, okay? I need to finish this first. I'm Verity Ames, she, they.
Wait, this is where the bus is stopping? But I've been here before. Chuck, you've never dropped me off in the same place twice. Do I get to stay this time? I'm getting kind of tired of waking up on the bus. I'm Missy Thorpe, she, her.
And I'm Natalie Fuinha, your keeper of monsters and mysteries. Let's have an adventure. San Francisco, the city by the bay. This populous West Coast city, known for the Golden Gate Bridge, cable cars, and its neighborhoods spread across steep hills, is experiencing unexplained rolling blackouts and a series of similarly mysterious fires. We pick up on the scene of one of these sudden and raging infernos as the brave firefighter crews work to combat the blaze and safely clear the building being consumed by the flames. Frank Newman, you've got a job to do, so let's describe your character and what you're doing.
So I guess I'm on duty right now. It sounds pretty important.
Yeah.
Frank Newman is a fireman. He is a relatively short and stocky guy. He's 5'8", about 200 pounds. He's probably carrying the hose and running in, and he really is trying to make sure that everybody is following proper protocol and safety procedure. He's yelling it out. Bill, you gotta get away from that fire. It's too big. You step back a few feet, okay? Get the other hose going, okay? I got this one. Do we have two hoses?
We only got one truck set up right now, Frank. We only got the one truck. I'm doing my best over here.
I thought we called a second truck. Sorry, I must have been wrong.
They're on their way. Your coworker Chelsea is rushing over with another wrench to undo the hydrant.
All right, well, if you guys want to just get clearing some of the extra wood out of the way, we don't want the fire to spread any further than it has. I'll do what I can with the hose here.
I've got you, Newman. And Captain Trevor Swift will help you carry the hose towards the fire and hold it in place.
I'm really proud of being a fireman. It's way better than being a police officer, let's be real.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And with this amazing team of firefighters all working together, it's nice to feel a part of something and to have this chance to help protect your city and the people in it.
Yeah, I will say that I'm doing my best, considering that only a few years ago I did lose my partner to a tragic fire accident. And I did need to take a leave of absence, but I'm coming back strong, I'm confident, and I'm ready to do this.
Really put your back into it, Newman. Come on, man.
Putting my back into it, sir.
We see this, we'll call it like a local restaurant, So you suspect grease fire, although the owners are not here to respond. This is something that's got called in. It's probably pretty late in the evening, maybe 11 or so. And it's normal for you to be on shifts that start very late and then go for like a full 24-hour cycle. So you're feeling pretty fresh, but the fire, the heat from within shatters a window and...
Everybody stand back. There's broken glass on the floor. All right, everybody be aware, broken glass.
The flames catch an updraft and lick up onto the awning, causing that to catch fire, sending more embers up into the air. Why don't you read a bad situation, Frank?
That is sharp, which Frank is not. But I do roll well. I do get a 10.
Nice. 2 holds to ask 2 questions.
All right. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
As you and the firefighter captain are trying to hose down as much of the flames as you can until you get a second hose set up, you see a shape move within the restaurant.
I mean, I don't know who the victims are in this situation, but seeing this movement in the building, can I ask my second question after a moment of role play? Or
Yeah, you can spend a little time.
as I see the movement, I turn to my crew and I go, guys, I think we got somebody alive in there. And I call in, is there anybody in there?
You hear nothing but the roar of the fire, the cracking of sparks, and the sputtering of the water out the hose. It's very loud, obviously. The engine still has its sirens going. The captain will take the hose in his 2 big gloved hands, and he says, "Get in there, man. See if anyone's made it."
What's my best way in?
You think if you, because you're in your firefighter gear, you probably could either force the door or just sort of carefully step through the window now that that explosion has blown the glass out. And because of the hose, that area is very quickly doused while the interior continues to burn.
As soon as my captain says get in there, one of my abilities, what could go wrong? Whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets, hold 2. I'm going to run and jump through the window that just exploded outwards.
Okay.
With my axe in hand and yelling, is there anybody alive in here? As I jump through the window.
Yeah, you hear more clattering, this time coming from the kitchen. It's sort of an open diner situation where you can see back to where the food is prepared here. And there's lots of fire back there, but again, you see this large shape moving back and forth in the back there.
Now, Frank is very aware of fire safety, so when I say he's moving quickly towards, it's not without checking his surroundings to make sure that there's not falling debris or fire. He's not going to just run into an open flame.
Yeah.
But he is adamant that if there is somebody alive in here, he will get them out. So he's just going to rush towards where he sees movement, calling out if anybody needs help.
As you work your way, like you say, carefully, you avoid a couple of the ceiling tiles as they sort of crumble and collapse in front of you. You sidestep those, move behind the bar, and then sort of push through the swinging doors to the kitchen area. And once you reach this back room, you see a large smoking creature that doesn't seem affected by the fire at all. It almost actually seems to be emitting flames of its own from within its rib cage. A large canine creature wreathed in more fire, rooting around and tearing at different storage containers of food in here as it all chars instantly and turns to charcoal.
I feel like the moment I step in, I see it and I go, sir, I believe you've taken some bad burns. You're going to need those looked at immediately. And then I start to register there's a tail, and I'm starting to question whether this is a badly burned person or not.
You see its eyes round on you as it turns, and a mouth of jagged teeth, all black because of the backlighting of this ember-like interior of its mouth. Magma starting to drip and seep from its lower jaw, and it just growls in a low rumble at you. And goes to pounce.
Okay, I'm in the doorway right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Registering the situation as it's happening, I'm carrying my fire axe. How structurally sound does the building look? Is there something that I could hit to try to knock debris down to put separation between me and the creature? Is there anything around me, or am I kind of in a bad situation here?
You are in a bad situation. Do you have any of your hold from your what could go wrong move you could spend here?
My hold moves are take +2 forward on an act under pressure roll, reduce someone's harm by 1, or inflict +1 harm. So if this thing's coming at me, I could try to attack it, but I think my first instinct is to not fight this thing and to actually try to...
You're trying to create a barrier here.
Yeah.
Then why don't you act under pressure, again, raging inferno around you, and we'll see how you do with that +2, and we'll base what you're able to find on that result.
All right, act under pressure is cool, which I have a +1 for, so 11.
I think you are close enough to the, prep sink, and there are clear pipes here that are straining under the pressure that the steam within them is causing. You see the little handle sort of shaking and sputtering and little beads of sweat spurting from it.
As the creature goes to lunge at me, I take the axe and I smash it against the handle of the pipe, hoping to create a spurt of steam to block its vision and throw it off.
You hit this pipe quickly enough such that it does spray whatever water is left in the system out at the creature as it leaps towards you. As soon as it touches the creature, an explosion of steam sends the both of you apart from each other. You also lose visibility as now this room fills with more steam, more smoke, and I think you can make out just a shadowed version of the interior of the kitchen now through your breathing mask. I think you see the creature rise, but it rises more than it was able to before. It is now being held almost up against the ceiling, and then it is dragged roughly through the ceiling tiles and slammed into a back wall. You hear a crack as it hits the tile, and some pieces of the mortar shake and crack out. And you see these writhing, dark strands holding this creature aloft and throwing it about like a rag doll against the walls of the kitchen here, smashing plates and dishes and bending the flat top grill. And eventually you hear a sort of muffled, and then it's just the roar of the fire again. But the creature is no longer attacking you.
Frank Newman, what have you got yourself into tonight? That's plenty for me. I say all of that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
With the fact that I just witnessed a monster get killed by an even bigger monster, I think it's time for me to go out the way I came. I probably need a drink after this shift.
We'll see you rush out of the fire. It's sort of one of those slow cam things where you come out the fire with your axe.
Yeah.
There's more of the spray as the captain, your other teammates now have a second hose hooked up to put out this blaze. And we do a slow crossfade to just the flashing lights of the fire truck and you with your mask off, getting hydrated and sitting down after a tough blaze you had to fight.
Oh, what a night.
Chelsea comes over. Didn't see anybody in there after all, huh? Just seeing shapes in the smoke?
I saw something, but there was nobody alive in there. Not that I could find. Quite a night we got.
Hey, it's only your second week back on duty. You're doing all right, Frank.
Thanks.
We see your team packing up the truck, but we will cut over across town to a unique establishment, a late night cafe and bar. Jackie, can you describe the establishment we're arriving at and then perhaps who we see when we walk in and look behind the bar?
So what time of day? Like you said, it's getting late.
It's 11:30, midnight.
Okay, so we are fully in night swing. 8-Bit Sexy is the night name for this bar. We act as a cafe during the day, but when the sun goes down, things get a little raucous. And by that I mean that's when we break out the magic cards, because this is very, very much a nerd bar. Everywhere you look, there are movie props that we claim are authentic. Dubious at best. The tips certainly would not allow for that in the budget, but that doesn't matter. It's the spirit that counts. The raucous arguments of nerds debating who would win in competing universes in these little corners around the bar. And you have some little arcade games that are going like ding, ding, bling in the corner. And then you see Jackie Fumagalli behind the bar. And she is very short, has naturally big eyes and also really big glasses over top. Between that and the short height, it makes her look younger than she is. She is totally legally allowed to work in this bar, but that does not stop people from trying to ID her, despite her being the only person on staff right now. She has her hair up in a messy bun with like tendrils of these like big like Italian curls, the thick black hair just kind of like spilling out everywhere. Mm-hmm. And she is running some drinks to tables while she keeps checking the door. The other server who's supposed to be helping right now is late. And right now she is handing someone a lager and they are insisting they ordered a mojito. And she is saying, "No, you didn't. You ordered a lager. Drink it." And running back to pull more drinks.
We see an old car pull up and park across the street where there's a little lot that says, what's the daytime name of this bar? If it's 8-Bit Sexy at night, is it just like 8-Bit Brews maybe during the day?
Yeah. I think it's 8-Bit Brews. And I think maybe 8-Bit Sexy is the unofficial name because I like it very much. Yep. I also like that, to be clear, nothing changes except like we put on some of the ambient lights, but now it's 8-Bit Sexy mode. And the locals know. They know the difference. The vibe changes.
There's color lights now instead of just the overheads.
We turn on the RGB lights and that's when things get wild.
Yep. We hear the door open. And Frank, you have gotten here after your shift. You need to wind down. That was a rough one.
Hey, Jackie, could I just get my usual, please? I say as I come up to the bar and sit down.
For sure. Could you hold this for a second?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Great. Would you mind running that to table 2?
Sure thing, Jackie.
Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver, Frank.
Just for my day job, Jax. I go right over. Hey, folks, just here's your drink. You're welcome.
We see the two of you running about, handling the many customers. And at a little side table, one of the quieter corners of the bar, Verity, can we describe you and what you're doing here?
Verity she's probably about 5'10", quite lean. She's got long, straight black hair with blunt bangs across her forehead with big, thick, black-rimmed glasses. Her hair is like pin straight under a green toque and wearing a big green bomber jacket, a black turtleneck, and black high-waisted pants. There's utility to them. There's a big gray-green bag on the table that looks like if she needed to kind of bug out and leave somewhere, she could very quickly. You see in front of her multiple plates that are all half-eaten, and she is going to town on multiple plates of food. You see in front of her a slice of cherry pie, a slice of chocolate ganache cake, a matcha tiramisu, and a strawberry milkshake. She is eating these lightning fast. She looks like she's got some dirt on her jacket, but the shirt looks clean. The shirt looks very clean. It is the only clean thing about her outfit, and she is just keeping an eye on the time as she knows she needs to get out of here before probably about 3 a.m. because she has to get back to work. But between 12 and 3 is this golden time, the only time you will find Verity at 8-Bit. She only really knows it as 8-Bit Sexy.
We see you sitting there. Most of the patrons know to leave you alone. Everyone here who has tried to invite you to a game of cards or to play a board game with them has been summarily rejected of no, I'm just here by myself.
Verity is always super polite and very, very kind. She'll spare people a small smile, but there's always a reason to leave the conversation, and she doesn't stop eating the entire time.
So you're mostly being left to your own devices here as you scarf down these mini desserts. And outside the bar, we see some headlights pull up, a much larger vehicle than Frank's car. And this one just stops on the sidewalk outside. Sliding door opens up, and we see a pair of pink heels stepping down the steps of a bus and walking towards the door. Missy, could we describe you as you make your entrance?
Hi, I'm Missy. She wears not just pink heels, pink stilettos, solid pink with sparkly bows on the toe. She has pink glitter fishnets. She leaves a cloud of glitter while she passes. They are just shedding off of these tights. A short schoolgirl skirt in pink crop top that says, "I'm better than you." And she has long pink braids that are tied into Sailor Moon buns at the top of her head that sort of trail down to her waist.
medium tan skin, bright green eyes, the longest lashes that you could see on someone outside of drag. Like, you could still get them at a pharmacy or like a grocery store or something, but they are gigantic.
You hear as the door is closing.
See you later, Missy.
Chuck, I know that we've gone over this multiple times, but like, I don't always understand you when you mumble.
And the bus pulls away.
You could just enunciate better. I could understand you. Don't go away when I'm talking to you.
Rear lights disappear down one of the hills of the hilly San Francisco neighborhood you're in.
We're gonna continue this when I see you again. You'll never escape me. Oh, who am I kidding? We know it's the other way around.
Head into 8-bit sexy.
Wow, this place is still 8-bit sexy. That is wild. How long have I been on that bus?
It's up to you.
I believe that Missy has no idea how much time has passed, just that it's a lot of it. I also feel like if she tries to look at like clocks or calendars to try and get an estimate of how much time it actually has been, they appear blurry and she can't see them.
Like the numbers all rearrange and scramble and...
The numbers all rearrange or warp or twist. And so she has no idea what time it is other than what time of day it is, from whether it's day or night, and nothing about the year, month, week, or otherwise.
Awesome. Jackie, you see an old friend walk into the bar. And this one's not a regular.
So Jackie finally gets back behind the bar with Frank sitting there and goes, "Oh, sorry about that. Thanks for your help, Frank." And then just eyes to the door as the little bell goes to check for the next customer. And then Jackie just goes, "Nope," and ducks behind the bar.
Frank, who's sitting at the bar, just kind of like leans over and is like, "Jackie?
Sorry,
Do you need help?"
I think I'm just gonna wait here until Beret gets here. I think I'm just gonna hide down here and they won't even notice, right? Right?
I look over at Missy.
She's fully leaning over, looking at Jackie, like from the other side where she can't see, like her head has disappeared there.
"Jackie, I'm just going to go see if any of the customers need anything. I'll be back."
Did you say that you're like over the bar, like where I am now?
So like if you are hiding underneath the bar and like talking to Frank, I'm like leaned over on the opposite side of your head, just like head tilt.
So Jackie turns towards you and then just like jumps back, but does not stand, just stays crouched on the floor, but tries to lean against the bar casually. Hey, Missy.
That looks a little painful.
I can always lean casually in a deep squat. It's fine. I just dropped something. How are you?
Ding, ding. Your phone goes off, Jackie, and you see it's a text from your coworker, and it just says,
"Not gonna make it in. Frolf is going super late. Sorry."
God damn it, Beret. This is actually an emergency that I need to go deal with right now.
Oh, is everything okay?
No. I'm gonna I'll be right back. And then Jackie just starts to like full sprint to the other side of the bar. I'm gonna say just sits at Verity's table because it is the quiet one that is kind of hidden in the corner.
You sit down at my table?
Yeah. You said you're at the quiet corner.
Yeah, and I think the second you sit down, like I pause with a giant bite of chocolate ganache cake like in my mouth. Hi?
Hey, have you ever had a best friend? People always talk about how hard it is going through like romantic breakups. You know, they write songs about it, but no one ever talks about how hard it is going through friend breakups. And maybe sometimes when your friend is like, you're really close, and then one day they just disappear, and then one day they show up when you don't even have backup staff because Beret thinks he's too good now. He bought a fancy hat and now he won't come to work anymore because apparently he has a side hustle. Okay, so here we are. Can I have some of that?
Which one?
Anything.
I push forth the matcha tiramisu because that's my favorite, not his. Just like a couple bites. I'm still pretty hungry.
Yeah, for sure.
Frank comes up to the table. We're now wearing an apron, and he has a notepad and a pen. And he's just like, "Hey, can I get you ladies anything this evening? Any orders to take?"
So this is now two people coming up to Verity's table.
mm-hmm.
And I'm still eating. I'm definitely still eating. And I think my hair on one side just kind of rustles. And I think I just kind of like move my hand. If you're going to stay at my table, can I get another piece of cherry pie? please.
Coming right up. I'll get right on that.
Thank you.
Jackie, I didn't know you guys were friends. Sorry, it starts with a V.
Verity.
Verity. I don't really see you talking to Jackie much, but you guys must be good friends, right?
Best friends.
Best friends. Well, a friend of Jackie's is a friend of mine. I'm going to go get that cherry pie for you. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And also alcohol?
Sure. Just any?
Just alcohol for Jackie, not for me, thank you.
All right. Just one?
Yeah, one alcohol.
One alcohol.
Yes, please.
All right.
Wow, Frank, you work here too now?
Appears behind Frank.
Missy, you're so quiet. Oh my God.
Am I? I had the impression that my heels made a loud sound when I walked.
Yeah, they do. I heard them the second you came in. It's nice to see you, Missy.
Hi, Verity, right?
Yeah. Are you still on the bus?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still really appreciative of that ride that one time. I know it was a really long time ago, but thanks.
Well, Chuck does not listen to me exactly, but like if I ask him for a favor, he'll do it because, I'm his only customer.
You could say I'm a real captive audience.
Frank, do you still have a hold left?
I guess I do. Yeah, I only used one.
Yeah. Is there a question option there?
Oh, sorry. That was for the +2 going forward. Never mind. I did use both of my questions.
They're both used up?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Frank has taken on the role of server at this point, and he's patiently waiting as everybody's talking.
Yeah, and you've been here a while, long enough that you notice a distinct smell coming from the booth. You smell smoke, and it is reminiscent of the type of grease and plastic burning smoke that you were around a lot tonight at the other restaurant fire. It's coming from Verity's jacket.
I start sniffing.
Oh my God, don't sniff my new friend.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get that cherry pie, and I'm gonna run away and run into the kitchen and order a cherry pie while I contemplate what that could mean.
Your pulse racing in your temples, yeah.
Do I get the sense that he's clocked it?
Definitely his demeanor has changed. Yeah.
I look at Jackie. When he comes back with the cherry pie, can you make sure nobody touches it, please? I'm gonna go outside and have a smoke. Excuse me. Verity walks away from the table very, very quickly and runs outside. You have never seen anyone smoke a cigarette as fast. It is like 3 puffs gone, and then comes back inside. The pack of cigarettes is now empty, and she just kind of crumbles it down on the table, and she pulls another full pack, and you see 2 more in her go bag, and she shoves another one in her jacket. And she goes, okay, yeah, okay, good, yeah, I'm gonna have some milkshake. Wow, so many new friends, this is great. And starts just like downing the strawberry milkshake.
I come back, I set the pie on the table, but I'm not even paying attention to the pie anymore. I just set the pie on the table and
2 hands grab and immediately just starts eating.
And I just kind of like squeeze my way into the booth, and now nobody's working at this place.
The kitchen's still working. They're just no front of house.
Yeah.
Front of house is empty.
Trying to act casual, but doing a terrible job. I'm just like, so Verity, a friend of Jackie's, friend of mine. I had a pretty busy evening. What were you up to?
I was just out for a walk. I work late.
Oh yeah, where do you work?
I'm a computer programmer. I code Python.
Oh, I love food. Do you love food? Were you at a restaurant? I like restaurants. Were you at one?
This is the only restaurant I come to. Why are you asking so many questions? I just want to eat.
I just like getting to know people.
I don't really get to know people.
Oh, that's weird.
Natalie, how bad is it? Is the food enough? Is the cigarette enough? Like, Verity's visibly uncomfortable. Like, how bad is it right now?
We see Frank continuing to ask questions.
So, what are your favorite pastimes? Do you like going camping? Do you like fire? What are your hobbies? Do you have a lot of hobbies?
Verity. Frank's questions are drowned out by a ringing tone that silences all other sounds of the bar as well, until it is replaced by a rasping inhale.
This one's asking a lot of questions.
Look, I know he's asking a lot of questions, okay? It's not my fault. I'm just sitting here. You need to chill out. Look, I'm eating all your favorites, okay?
He smells familiar.
Yes, that's because that was him earlier tonight. I told you not to go in. I told you not to take over, but no.
We had had to defend our territory.
I know you had to go in. I know you had to find it, but I could have just gone in and looked.
The incursions are getting worse, Verity Ames. We cannot allow them to go unanswered. It shows weakness.
I don't want to be a part of this, okay? That was the 4th shirt this week.
We can steal more shirts. It is of no consequence.
I know we've been on the look for this for a while, but I am doing the best that I can, okay? These are people. These are good, innocent people trying to do the best that they can. They are not a part of this. You need to chill the fuck out, man. Please just calm down, sweet, okay? Please, you can't do this to me here. Not here, not now, please.
Frank, you notice strands of Verity's hair starting to stand on end, like they might in reaction to static electricity, but they're also starting to writhe and twist around.
Above everything, Frank is a polite and kind person, and I think even though he was a little triggered, he notices your demeanor change.
So uncomfortable, deeply, deeply uncomfortable.
He stands up from the booth and he's like, "I'm sorry, Verity. I asked too many questions. I got you your pie. Is there anything else I can get for you?"
No, Frank, don't worry about it. It's okay. Truly, that's really kind of you. I'm sorry. I'm just not the best in front of people. I'm not around people much. It's my job is kind of alone, me and a computer.
You let me know if you need any help or anything at all.
Sure, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the pie. You're doing great.
Missy, while this strangeness is going on, there is a light outside on the sidewalk that catches your attention. Sort of a flickering, sparking kind of illumination where it flickers on and off, and then it's like a spotlight is just turned on. And there's just this light emanating from the top of one of the telephone poles outside, shining light down onto the street.
Oh, I should go look at that.
Jackie, Verity, and Frank, Missy says this and walks out to a completely unchanged street.
This entire time, all 4 of us were sandwiched in a quite small booth, with Jackie being sandwiched right between Missy and Verity, just doing tennis eyes back and forth, staring daggers at Missy, but also wide-eyed terror kind of, and then being interested in whatever's going on with Verity and kind of going back and forth, and then seeing Missy get up. Jackie is going to follow.
Missy, when you get to the door and peer outside, you see perched atop one of the telephone poles is the source of this light that you can see. It's a illuminated creature shining with a bright silver light with a small core of a warm golden light in its chest. At least what you think is its chest. It's a very serpentine figure with 4 long quadruped hooved legs and a long sweeping tail that sort of ends in a bunch of fluff or something. It's hard to make out details. This creature is so just emitting light that you're really only catching silhouette. But it is sort of peering up and down the street and regarding 8-Bit Sexy. It sort of leaps down from the pole and just approaches the building. Very casually, very unbothered, just starts to approach the door.
Hello.
Hi?
Oh, I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, you were talking to the empty road. Okay.
Oh, it's not empty.
What?
You'll see.
Are you inside, Missy, or outside? Would you have stepped outside the restaurant, or?
I'm leaning outside the door.
As it gets up onto the sidewalk, the creature regards you, kind of ignoring everyone else, And you see like a couple people walking down the street, just sort of, they like walk through it. Its body sort of shimmers and flickers like TV static.
Well, that's a neat trick.
Doesn't seem to really notice they're passing through it, and it leans its long serpentine neck down. It's got some like smallish antlers and like a big fluffy mane that goes all the way down this long curving neck, and just sort of looks at you and peers with a set of eyes, one natural brown and the other a warm amber color, more of that gold light behind it. This creature regards you, almost seems to like sniff you up and down. You can see like a forked tongue tasting the air. Again, all light, no texture or details. And once it seems to have checked you out enough, it sort of just walks past, avoiding you, but sort of passing right through Jackie and the door, and wanders into the bar.
I close the door and I follow.
I follow Missy.
The creature just starts to glance around. If there's like a mantle above the bar where like some of these movie props are on display, it leaps up, becomes an intangible bit of static and travels along some of the cables in here and then pops out again on a different shelf built into the structure of the wall, folds its front legs and sits down very much like a seated deer or horse.
Can I use tune in or the sight in this context?
You are already actively using the site, but if you'd like to use tune in, go for it.
Yay! Okay, so roll plus weird. That's a 13.
Amazing. What do you get on that with a 13 plus?
On a 10 plus, hold 3.
Okay.
What is it planning to do right now?
I think you get a very strong sense of curiosity from this creature. It does not seem violent or aggressive at all. And of the patrons still here at this late hour, you still remain the only person seemingly who has noticed its arrival or presence.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be watching people. And every now and then its tail will sort of brush a cable in the room, and you'll see its eyes kind of go bright white silver and then settle back down to normal again as its tail sort of flicks through the internet supply to this building.
Wow, you're so beautiful. It's not every bus stop I get to see something as pretty as you. A lot of the stops have really bad things, actually. But you seem nice.
What does it want?
You see it gets up after a minute and enters the wire. Its whole body just sort of becomes a little electrical current, travels through the wire and pops out and is now sort of straddling one of the booths with its forelegs, and its head peers down, watching the players at the table playing with their different cards, doing different moves. And as they get into like an argument about the rules, you see its tail brush into the cable again, and the eyes glow, and then it will look over at one person who is like making the more correct point as far as the rules are concerned, and it tilts its head, then looks back at the other person who's like trying to maybe skirt something by or misinterpret something. And you see this creature reaches with one of its cloven hooves and tips that person's water over so it spills into their lap.
Oh, so you like when things are fair and in order.
I think we'll let you observe it as it meanders about. Jackie, Missy is being Missy, wandering around aimlessly, watching something you can't see.
Probably more aggressively than you remember. Missy has always been a little off kilter, but everything you knew about Missy just got really, really intensified. Like someone took the lampshade off a lamp and let the light shine really, really bright. And it is weird. It is like peak weird. And yet she doesn't seem bothered at all.
Jackie is following Missy around like transfixed, and like patrons are coming up and like trying to order drinks, and Jackie just goes like da, and like waves them off.
Frank steps in every time.
Yeah. And then finally Jackie goes right up to Missy and like steps in front of her. Missy,
Oh, hi, Jackie.
do you have magic powers?
Yes.
Are you kidding me? You ditched me and got magic powers?
Ditched you?
Yeah, I haven't heard from you in years. And
How long has it been?
it's too.
It's no different with you.
What?
Oh, I just never know what time it is or what year it is.
Wait, did you disappear on purpose?
Not on purpose.
Were you kidnapped? Were you taken to another realm? It was aliens.
It wasn't aliens, but I was taken. But I don't think I've ever really left this realm. It's complicated. There's a bus involved.
But you didn't ditch me.
No.
Huh. I've spent a lot of time being really angry about this, so I don't think I'm going to get over it that quickly.
Why were you angry?
Because you ditched me.
But I didn't. At least I didn't mean to.
Okay, well, that's new information. That's not how I work. I got some emotional inertia I need to work through, okay?
Okay.
Cool. It would help if you told me what you're looking at.
Oh, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I do not have a word for what this is in my head, but it's pretty. It's kind of like if a deer maybe had a relationship with a dragon and they had a baby.
Okay, a dragon. How many legs?
4.
Wings or no wings?
No wings, but it can jump pretty high.
Okay, from a standing or from a running?
I haven't seen it run. It's been very calm.
Come with me.
Okay.
And I'm going to guide Missy to a part of the bar where they have all these prop books, where there are all these musty tomes, the book nook. And I'm going to pull out one of them that is a bestiary of dragons. This is my lore library.
Yeah, okay. What would you like to do with this library?
So 8-Bit Sexy, while it is where she works, it also serves as Jackie's haven. So this says, if there is an appropriate reference work, I can take +1 forward to investigate the mystery.
Okay. Why don't you investigate a mystery, but I'm going to have you roll your weird as the modifier instead of your sharp.
Okay.
Because if you're going to try and understand this thing, it's going to take a little bit of magic.
That is a 7.
Okay. On a mix with investigate a mystery, you can ask one question.
What sort of creature is it?
You open one of these old tomes. You're poring over it with Missy, asking all sorts of questions about what this creature looks like, what it's acting like, how it's behaving, and using your expert knowledge of your reference material, you determine that it does sound like there is some kind of dragon in your bar. Although it doesn't match the description of any recorded dragons exactly, but it has enough key features that there is definitely some kind of draconic presence in this space. And you have a little bit of spell experience. You've been dabbling since the revelation. Maybe not enough to get your license, but as long as you keep it quiet, as long as you keep it in the nook, nobody's going to tell on you. And there's just this little incant, at the end of this chapter on dragons that you're able to perform. And a little rune lights up on the page, reflects in your eyes, and suddenly you can see, if you glance out of the little nook, this glowing silver serpentine creature meandering about your bar. And something else, but we will get to that in a moment, because I want to cut over to Verity once more. Verity, rewinding the clock just a bit. Everyone left you alone pretty immediately once you started to act weird.
Thank goodness. It was getting very intense and I was worried something very bad was going to happen.
Yeah, your constant companion Sweet speaks to you and he says,
That human is lucky. He backed off.
Listen, I didn't choose this, okay? I know I was just a convenience pick for you, and you should have probably picked someone else. But we've been doing good so far, right? We have our deal. I think we have a pretty good relationship between the two of us, but you have to let me be a person sometimes, okay? I take you where you want to go. I throw myself into whatever situation you get us into. I keep you fed. And in return, well, I don't really know what I get out of this, but I'm sure that'll come with time. Just listen to me, Sweet. You have to let me be a person. I still need to feel like a person sometimes. If I don't, I'm just terrified you're gonna hurt someone.
Verity Ames, we are not alone. Look there ahead of you.
And on the bangs that fall over half your face, Verity, an eye opens. And you, through Sweet's sight, are able to perceive this glowing creature as it enters the bar and starts to interact with the patrons, and Missy follows it around. And Sweet is just losing it in your head.
How did she find out they get here? What is it doing? No.
What is that? Did one of them send something? Wait, that isn't a hellhound. This is...
It's the first. No, It's not her, but it is. No, it can't be. It's different.
Is it one of your boss's things or like what?
It is not of the place apart. It is strange. There is no word for it. Its spark. This thing is new.
Okay, well, what do you want me to do?
It doesn't make sense. I don't recognize it. I don't understand it. That should be impossible.
You see tendrils creeping out from under the cuff of your jacket, gripping the table as if Sweet is having a panic attack.
Okay, you need to tell me what you want me to do. Do you need to leave?
Just hyperventilating sounds in your mind.
Okay, I down the strawberry milkshake because I know that sugar keeps him calm. And that's why I call him Sweet. I don't know his name. I just call him Sweet because that's the only thing that works to chill him out. I just keep eating these sweet things, and I think you see Verity start to panic. I'm just kind of like half covering, half trying to position myself so that it's not immediately apparent that there's a giant eye on my bangs. It could maybe look like I have like cool dyed hair under my toque. Verity is really trying hard to look like a normal human being. Okay, buddy, you have to breathe. I know you don't breathe, but you just need to follow the movements, okay? I am gonna breathe. You just need to follow along, okay? We are going to chill out. I have given you everything you need. I will smoke a pack of cigarettes after this if it means that you calm down.
Verity, manipulate someone.
Oh, gosh. It's a 9?
Okay.
It feels bad.
Yeah.
It's not a 10, which is good.
On a 7 to 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do what you ask. I think as you try to like do some square breathing and get Sweet to calm down, the hyperventilating does slow and almost just stops entirely. Like it cuts off unnaturally quickly. It's like a...
We are not alone.
Pal, I'm never alone.
The tendrils release from the table, but they do not retract. And instead, they start to encircle your fingers and coat them in black and create long, sharp extensions from your nails.
What do you want me to do with that?
We are going to fight and survive.
Now?
Frank.
Trying his best to help Jackie out by taking people's orders. He's kind of running around the bar back and forth. And at one point he stops right in the middle and he kind of looks up and like surveys the bar and he realizes Missy and Jackie are off in the book nook staring directly at him. And he's like, what? And he looks over and Verity is mumbling to herself, staring directly at him. And he's just standing there with his notepad being like, why are they all looking at me?
Our camera pulls away and we see the dragon standing with all four legs sort of in an arch around you. Just sort of its head peering down, looking at what you've written on your notepad.
There's some doodles and a few orders, and I've scribbled, what am I doing right now? ? And I'm looking around and I'm trying to figure out what my next move is. Verity looks very distressed, and I noticed that she just finished a strawberry milkshake. Verity, do you need another one of those?
I don't even think Verity can clock it. Like you see this like white knuckle grip on the table, and I think the table moves a little bit and the strawberry milkshake like moves forward. So if you were trying to ascertain like if that meant more milkshake, you could probably assume that a glass push forward would mean another milkshake, but Verity looks completely in her own world right now.
You see the table shift forward, Frank, and one hand is white-knuckled, the other hand is this, like, dark clawed thing that begins to scratch lines into the table. And outside, you hear a couple of shrieks, and a warm glow from down the street lights up, and you see a few people running down the sidewalk. Jackie and Missy, the dragon that is standing above Frank as he's sort of pivoting in place, not sure where to put his attention at the moment, its head shoots up and its gaze glances towards a corner, but in the direction down the street where that warm glow and the shrieks are coming from. this dragon leaps up onto the mantle above the bar, gives a look back at Missy. Missy, when it makes eye contact with you, you see it's got these little like sort of rounded large ears that like at the back of its head where the antlers sort of sprout from, and the ears kind of droop almost apologetically, and then it becomes the electrical current and shoots into the wire up and away into the building. And as you watch this happen, you then hear a crack on the glass of the entrance to 8-Bit Brews, and you see outside two large shapes with glowing abdomens, their rib cages billowing smoke. And Frank, if you look towards the cracking noise, you see two more of these creatures that you saw at the fire earlier tonight, which are about to break their way into this establishment.
My eyes dart over to Verity and I go, the milkshake's gonna have to wait. And do I have my weapons with me? Like, I don't know if I would.
You might have a backpack where you could like keep your axe in like a little holstered thing so it's like on you at all times.
I came right from work.
Yeah.
I run to the bar where I left my backpack and I pull out my axe and I yell to everybody in the bar, everybody stand back. We don't want anybody hurt. Just stay back. I've got this. And I just run towards the window.
Can I see this?
You can see this, yes. This is the other thing you notice thanks to the glyph of seeing you have cast on yourself.
Okay, amazing. I shout, I call dibs on speciation, because I want to name it after me. So is Frank using a magical weapon or just an axe?
It's just a normal axe.
Okay, I am going to grab from the stockpile on the wall, which is an armory. Okay, so a long time ago, I once asked Frank to retrieve an item for me from a burn site that I was not allowed access to, even though it was probably safe and I could have totally gone in there. But Frank offered to help me out. And when you say that, I say, Frank, catch! And I throw a chalice at you. It's like a very ornate, over-the-top goblet, and it is full of water.
I look over and it like hits me in the head and water spills, but then it lands in my hand and I'm like, thanks! What do I do?
I don't know. I just figured water would help.
So I'm weird. Could I have some insight to what he should do with this chalice?
Trying to think what you would know or be able to see about this thing. Frank catches the chalice, or it smacks him, then he fumbles to catch it. A lot of water goes everywhere, like a lot of water. But despite that, Missy, when he's like got it in his hand, you see the water level within this goblet is like rising again to like fill right up to the top again. So this cup is kind of weird too, like you are.
Yeah, but I wouldn't figure out anything about what it could do or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think you understand what type of magic this is yet. I mean, above the table question, do you think Missy has attempted to like learn anything about the magic and weird things that she experiences, or is she sort of just like experiencing it and that's about it?
So I think she's tried. She has a mystical library similar to the Expert's Haven. The difference with her is that the books that she needs just kind of appear in her hands when she needs them. And she can't read anything except the information that is relevant for her to know. So it's like blurry, blurry, blurry. On this section, we have an info about unicorns. Blurry, 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 blurry. Stuff like that. So yeah, so she's tried.
Okay, then I think you can definitely see that this chalice is enchanted and that the creatures that are trying to break into the restaurant right now are magic. They seem like bad news. In fact, one of them, you see a silver flash illuminate the street for a moment, and that arcing bit of electricity leave 8-Bit Brews and strike the telephone pole outside where the creature then appears once more. And one of these flaming wolf-like creatures just fully diverts and turns away and then leaps and is now like clawing its way up the light pole towards the other creature, who is like sort of perched all four hooves on the top of the pole.
One last thing. Can I see with the sight what's happening to Verity?
Yes.
Oh no.
Because I think in this moment, we see the glass window of 8-Bit Sexy shatter, and this flaming hellhound rears its face forward with a like lava spittle hits the floor and starts to put smoking craters into the hardwood. Verity, it is up to you whether you want to be piloting or not, but the vessel that is Verity Ames rushes towards this creature, that long clawed hand extended.
Oh, man. I think he took over earlier tonight because he was chasing the Hellhound.
Mm-hmm.
I think Verity knows that if she tries to stay in control and she tries to pilot, they will both get hurt.
Mm.
So, can I narrate what happens as he takes over?
Please, yeah.
Okay. So Verity's sitting near the window, white knuckle grip on one side, and then these claws extending on her other hand. And she stands up, and her voice kind of drops, maybe an octave or two. The pitch gets deep and gravelly, and you hear her say, "Fine, you owe me one." And from the center of her chest, those ribbons burst forth and encircle all of her limbs. They wrap around her head. They wrap all the way down her arms. Claws extend on both sides. She grows to probably about 9 feet tall. These ribbons and these tendrils of shadow, they're not tentacle, they are like longer, thinner, and they just wrap and encircle. And as you see her stand, eyes begin to open vertically across this whole creature, probably 50, 75, 100 of them piecing between these ribbons, moving. You see these 2 claws extend. She turns with a violent, sudden speed and bolts towards these hellhounds. And now, Sweet is in control.
Roll kick some ass.
And because I have unholy strength, I roll weird instead of tough when I kick some ass.
Let's go.
Verity, I'm going to need you to stay back. Oh my God. Like,
The most badass Sailor Scout transformation.
right?
It's like
I was definitely picturing magical girl transformation.
Maybe the scariest Sailor Scout transformation.
moon, prison, power. Oh my God.
Yeah, so shug off.
Yeah.
Yikes. So I rolled an 11.
Nice.
Plus 3 is a 14.
Wow.
Oh my God.
It's sweet. I'm not surprised.
Okay. On a 10 plus, you get to choose an extra effect. Which one would you like?
I am going to inflict terrible harm on the first one that I touch because I think he was trying so hard to keep it together in the bar. He was already amped up from the hellhound that was in the restaurant earlier this evening. So I think Verity completely surrenders to whatever Sweet is going to do. And when Sweet is in control, when Sweet's in control, it's out of control. So I think it's fast. Sweet is so fast, and he moves directly towards the hellhound that is closest. Sweet lunges, and just there is like ribbons out and in circles, and it just like crunches through the rib cage of this hellhound. And you watch the hellhound shrink in size and the glow of the fire become less bright as Sweet does terrible harm and drains a strong portion of the life force from this creature. And you watch as Sweet gets bigger. Sweet grows like another foot.
You would take harm from the hellhound's bite, but because you're using life drain, as it fights back and chomps down on some of these tendrils and even maybe like cracks a few of them free by burning them so hot and bright that they just instantly dust to ash and cinders, the jaw clamps down on one of Sweet's arms, and as it does, the other arm just pulses and grows bigger as you draw the energy to that side of your form. And the hellhound's bite, which would be 3, gets knocked back by 1 because you're immortal, and your life drain of 2 harm will just instantly replenish the damage done to that one side. But yeah, like you say, this hellhound is losing strength as Sweet begins to actually feast. Meanwhile, Missy, you hear outside the cry of this dragon. Oh no. It has been wrestled to the ground by the hellhound and is being scratched and clawed at.
Missy would know then that it's time for things to get really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So Missy is not like a trained spellcaster. Missy is all feeling and emotion and tapping into things that maybe she shouldn't be able to, and she doesn't know why she's able to. So she reaches into herself, to that little space inside her chest where she feels a pulse that is very different from her heartbeat and just knocks at it like she's knocking at a door. And that energy bursts from her. And she aims it right at the hellhound that is harming this dragon. So I'm going to try and use magic. That is a 10.
So there's no glitch on your magic.
It's going to harm it, but I would also like to try and banish it.
Ooh, okay.
I would like to try and use this magical force, spookiness inside me to just flip this thing out of existence, like crushing its bones, making them twist in other places, and then just gone.
Yeah. Jackie, you watch as Missy raises a hand and this pulse just shoots from her palm out the broken window and passes over this creature in the street, which you again can see has got the small dragon underneath it. But as this thing is hit with this wave, the fire in it is quickly extinguished. And what is left is the whole hellhound's body becomes that of like charred wood, and then just ashes begin to drift off it slowly as the demonic presence within it is extinguished and told, you don't belong here, go away. That being said, I think the dragon gets up and you can see it's kind of limping to try and get away.
I'm definitely going to run towards it.
Okay, yeah. As you rush out, Missy, you hear a familiar as a bus pulls up on the street and stops in front of you and this dragon in the middle of the road, the headlights blaring on the both of you and casting your shadow. And Frank, I will say, you can see a shape in the shadow of the headlights of a large quadruped creature with a long neck and a long tail next to Missy.
Guys, there's something there. Are you seeing this?
It's a dragon, and it's very hurt right now. Chuck, are you there?
I'm going to like knock on... Missy is not very tall, so she's just knocking, not even on the door, just on the front.
Oh, just like the grate?
Yeah.
In answer, the bus doors open up.
She doesn't even like go inside the door. She just walks over and just sort of peeks her head over.
Can you do anything for this poor dragon?
You see Chuck, the bus driver, who we forgot to describe, but Chuck is just this guy in like a denim overcoat, brown scarf, and like a little derby cap pulled down over bushy eyebrows and a big mustache. He kind of looks at his watch, looks at you, and kind of taps the watch and just says, I gotta get going to keep on schedule, you know?
Now?
Yeah, pack him in.
But there's the dragon? Can you?
He presses a different lever, and the like larger side doors of the bus open up as well.
Oh, okay. Hey, dragon, whose name I don't know. Are you okay with being picked up?
You are probably not big enough to lift this creature.
Oh, I'm not gonna do it by myself.
Okay, sure. Yeah, it kind of just coos at you with like a little weak moan.
Verity, are you still big? I know you're in there. Are you still big?
There's roars of a hellhound engaged in a battle with Sweet.
Frank, Jackie, can you two help me lift this dragon?
Jackie runs out and she's furiously flipping through her dragon book and just kind of stands right next to Frank, like right beside him. Again, much smaller, looks up at him, and she says to him, "Is it bad that this is the best day of my life?"
This is a pretty bad day.
Right, okay. Are we gonna steal a dragon?
What's a dragon doing in your bar? Why is there a fire dog?
I know, right? So my friend who I thought ditched me didn't ditch me. Now she has magic powers. And also, there's a dragon in my bar. Also, some hellhounds. Oh my god.
Why is Verity venom?
I know, right? It's so cool.
I run over and I'm going to... I can only see the silhouette of the dragon.
Yeah, you can see its shadow being cast by the headlights of the bus right now.
And I look at Missy and I'm like, what am I doing here, Missy?
I got this. Let me help. And Jackie kind of puppets Frank so he can help lift the dragon.
Yeah, exactly that. And she helps, even though she's in stilettos.
I'm like trying to carry this invisible dragon over to the... I see the bus, right?
You see the bus. The bus is visible for sure.
I've never seen this bus before. What are these doors?
Oh, the bus goes where it wants.
This is magic too. Oh my, Jackie like runs up to the bus driver, just like hyperventilating. Are you magic? Are you one of the folk?
Chuck reaches up and gives a little like tip of his cap And you don't see his eyes beneath the bushy eyebrows, but you do catch a little glint when you ask, "Are you folk?" And he just kind of says,
Get aboard.
Are they coming?
This is so cool!
You never let me have sleepovers. Mostly because when I sleep, I either wake up on the bus or in Brooklyn or in London or in Rio de Janeiro that one time.
I don't have a passport.
What's a passport?
Am I still fighting a hellhound right now?
You are, in fact, fighting a hellhound.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Welcome to the Storyteller Squad, everyone.
That's fine. You guys move the dragon, I'll fight the hellhound. It's great.
Verity, as you are fighting with this hellhound, we will use the same kick some ass roll, because in Monster of the Week, that describes sort of the whole of a fight rather than a specific attack roll.
Cool.
So, Sweet is gonna be able to overpower this hellhound, just by the nature of it, you having a life drain ability, and the hellhound is more of a destructive demon spawn. As the tendrils are sort of wrapping around this hellhound's throat and choking the fire out of it, it lets off one final howl. And Frank and Missy and Jackie, as you're outside helping the dragons get into the central portion of the bus, you hear another howl ring out further out in the city, and another. And rather than a pack of more of these wolf-like creatures, you do see coming out of an alley more glowing ember-like creatures, one that resembles a possum, one that resembles a raccoon, and a couple squirrels, songbirds which land on a branch of a tree and the tree begins to catch fire. All of these little city animals also corrupted and transformed into hellhounds by this demonic presence, you know not how, but they sort of gather in front of the bus like a deranged Disney princess's entourage, and they just start to growl and chitter, and you see Chuck kind of leans on the horn of the bus.
Hold on, there's one more person that needs to come on if we're gonna all go together. Verity!
I think Verity's a monster?
Aren't we all monsters on the inside?
No.
Verity!
Verity's a monster on the outside?
Are we just leaving? We can't just leave, can we? This is a fire hazard, guys. Everything's on fire.
I don't know. The bus does what it wants. Verity!
Verity, as you have killed this hellhound, you see more arriving, and Sweet says in your mind,
This is what she's after then. We need to destroy the dragon, or she will continue to haunt my city.
He's in control right now, right?
he is.
Sweet. If you try and kill that dragon right now, you are going to hurt them because they're going to try and stop you. You need to go back inside, and we're going to talk about it.
We cannot allow Azazel to get the power of this creature.
I don't give a fuck. You need to get your ribbony ass back inside and calm down. I let you out. You got to feed. You killed the hellhound. It's hurt. It's not going anywhere right now. So get yourself in line.
Roll manipulate someone.
This bastard better frickin' listen to me. Okay, my charm is +0. That's an 8.
Okay. Sweet. You see the eyes darting back and forth, dragon, bust, people, hellhounds, more on the way, howls echoing through the city.
I am not the ideal person for you to be bonded to. You could have picked someone bigger, and you could have picked someone dumber. We agreed that we were going to be in this together. If you listen to me right now, I will release you from that agreement if you get your shit in line.
The eyes lock on the dragon, and you hear a growl. In the back of your mind, as Sweet says,
Acceptable. Verity aims. Follow it then. Keep them off of it and away.
and you begin to shrink down. Not entirely, but Sweet is no longer in control. Rather, your hair returns to your hair. Your face begins to be half revealed, but you still have these whipping tendrils. Are the rest of you getting on the bus?
I'm not getting on until everybody is on the bus. So I run towards Verity with my chalice and I splash the dead hellhound with the chalice.
Crumbles to ash, yeah.
Don't worry, Verity, I got this.
Thanks, Frank. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
You saved us.
Don't thank me yet. This is me apologizing in the future for a time that I can't.
Verity, I have no idea what's happening right now. There's a dragon that I can't see. There's a bus with weird doors. There's fire creatures setting fires everywhere. And that's a real problem for me.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what's going on? What are we doing right now?
A little flaming songbird flies towards Frank, and one of Verity's hair tendrils impales it, and it kind of just crumbles to ash on the ground.
And I think Verity, as that tendril kind of retracts, they just go, enough. That wasn't to you, Frank. Let's just get on the bus. I know a little bit about what's going on. I should probably tell you now before we get any deeper in this.
If we're getting on the bus, then let's get on the bus and we can talk, okay?
Come get on the magic bus! All aboard!
Okay. I think I make sure that I have my go bag and I have my jacket that's somewhere.
A tendril can reach back and grab the jacket and go bag.
Yeah.
If Frank hops on, I think the doors close behind Frank, actually, and they don't allow you to board Verity.
I'll just follow behind. That's fine.
Yeah, the tendrils do, however, wrap around the windows, and you sort of are able to cling to the side of the bus, which is maybe a good idea because as the bus charges forward, a lot of these hellhounds begin to leap at the bus and just sort of slam into the side of it.
And I think that there's like a moment where Verity kind of turns around and using any of the free tendrils that are there, it's just like less of a like, I'm going to go chase these things and kill them. It's like, I'm going to just knock them away.
Mm-hmm.
Unless something is directly attacking me, I'm not aiming to put myself in harm's way for it, but I'm going to use that to keep the bus safe.
You are definitely able to cling to the roof of this bus or the back bumper or just move around if you need to remove these smaller hellhound creatures as they begin to assail the bus as it pulls down the street and begins traveling through the city.
I guess Verity's on board.
Wait, Chuck, why didn't you let Verity on?
Chuck is very, focused up on the wheel, and he says,
Not allowed. Demon spawn? No good.
Demon spawn?
Can somebody tell me what's going on right now?
Apparently Verity is demon spawn.
Oh, wow.
Jackie, would you like to investigate a mystery?
I would love to invest. Jackie is vibrating. Oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. Okay. Thank God. That makes a 10, baby.
Amazing.
What is being concealed here?
A lot.
Just casually a lot.
A lot, yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on. This is, like you say, the best day of your life because a lot of magical stuff is finally happening to you. One, Missy seems to have a strange relationship with a bus that is also maybe connected to the folk. Verity, your late night patron who always eats a bunch of dessert, is clearly tied somehow to a demon spawn, which you would know were the creatures that attacked the Hard Rock Casino Hotel and Resort in Atlantic City 2 years ago and brought about the revelation of magic and supernatural things to the world. And there's a dragon that came by your bar and sort of kicked off all this chaos, which Frank cannot see still. So that's an issue. That's literally something being concealed from him.
Most things are concealed from me at this point. I'm lost.
So, that's the synopsis I think you're able to quickly put together as you hold on to one of the things on the bus as it rattles down the hilly roads of San Francisco.
Jackie, you're always telling me stories. What do you got?
This one's a doozy. Okay. And I'm just going to relay all that information to Frank. And I think I'm doing it quietly. I am not. And explaining and be like, and you're the only one who can't see the dragon. Isn't that weird? You must be super not magic or something.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Why don't you say the incantation or have Frank say it?
Right. Okay. And I'm going to go through the book and, okay, Frank.
Yeah.
Have you ever cast a spell before?
No.
Okay, cool. How is your Latin?
No, not good.
Cool. How about runes and sigils?
Nope.
Awesome.
I read a Stephen King novel once that talked about that stuff.
Right. Okay. Published pre-revelation though, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, cool. There's a 50-50 chance this will work, probably.
I've read Cryptid Monthly.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I found a few issues. I read through it. I understood maybe 10% of it, but I'm working on it, Jackie. I'm working on it.
What's a cryptid?
I'm trying to figure that out myself.
I submit my work every single month and they haven't published it yet, but one of these days I'm gonna have my own column. Okay, cool. Try reading this. And I'm gonna sketch out a quick pronunciation guide for the incantation.
Sure.
Think really magical thoughts. like about how bad you want to see a dragon, okay?
Can't be too hard. I've seen the most magic I've ever seen in my whole life tonight, so I'm just going to focus on the situation I'm currently in, and I'm going to read this.
Normally, I would ask for a use magic roll, but in this case, we are halfway through a one-shot, and I need you to see the plot. So, Frank, you're able to stumble your way through this incantation, and when you do, the sigil in Jackie's dragon book lights up. It lights up in your eyes, and suddenly you see the glowing, silvery creature weakly clinging to the central poles of the bus as you continue to speed down the street. And I will say, you can see pursuing the bus now is a pack of these larger hellhound creatures, though not all of them are canine. A few look like stags. A couple more look like alley cats. There's what looks like a brown bear. Lots of different variety in the creatures here. There's enough there that you think even Verity, with her otherworldly powers, might struggle to finish them all.
With this flash of revelation as the dragon appears before me, first thing that I do is I fall on my ass. I just fall over and I point and I go, dragon!
Right!
There's a dragon on the bus.
Can I just say that I would hold all 4 of these adventurers so tenderly in my hands all the time? I love them so much.
We're learning together.
The bus driver's magic too. Also, the bus itself might be magic. It's possible we have entered another dimension of some sort. I'm still trying to figure out the schematics of it. Hold on, I've got my notebook. Jackie always has a notebook on her person. Like, do you know there's always like one server who hoards the pens?
That was me.
That's Jackie. So she has all the pens. And she started drawing little notes about what she thinks these creatures, these hellhounds might be. And you can see there's all these references to different kind of folklore, like various things. And I'm going to try to refer this and ask my second question, which is what sort of creature is it? But now I'm talking about the hellhounds.
Ooh, okay. You would recall, having pored over the footage of the Revelation battle in Atlantic City, New Jersey, that there were creatures like this. These flaming charcoal-like creatures that just sort of were animated by the hellfire within them. In that battle in particular, there were a pair of wyverns, as well as several constructs that had very crustacean-like anatomy, but were built out of ocean detritus and pollution plastics. What was released to the public described an attack from another realm, and that mostly this sort of thing would be dealt with by the Eastie Agency, which is the paranormal branch of the government that goes around and fights monsters or investigates strange phenomena as they crop up. It settles in you that while this is very cool and exciting, it's also actually like quite dangerous. Like a lot of people died in New Jersey, and in fact, a lot of like experienced professional monster hunters were injured and died on that day. And so the fact that you are being pursued by this horde of demon spawn, I think some fear starts to creep in past your excitement, just given how many of them there are and how hell-bent they seem on catching the creature that you were trying to protect with this bus.
Jackie's gonna turn towards Frank and be like, okay, so from this, I'm quite sure that they actually are hellhounds, and oh my God, those are hellhounds. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Verity, oh no. We have a demon on the bus. I'm gonna sit down.
Demon spawn, according to Chuck.
Which demon?
I don't know.
Chuck, which demon?
You hear him mumble,
All same to me.
God damn it, Chuck.
Chuck is a simple man with complicated origins.
However, as he says that, you start to hear the brake system of the bus kick on. And you notice the bus is actually slowing down. And if you look through the windshield, you see you are pulling up alongside a building which is surrounded by a strange dome of glyphs. These golden glyphs that form a half sphere around the California Academy of Sciences Museum. And as the bus pulls up in front, the doors all fly open. The hellhounds are rapidly approaching, but Chuck has opened the door and says,
All right, let's stop.
Frank stands up, so he kind of almost passed out from all of the excitement. And he immediately stands up and without even skipping a beat is like, don't worry, everybody, I'll protect us, okay? And I grab my axe and I hop out of the bus and I like face the horde of demon hounds. Everybody get inside. I'll fight them off. And I start running towards the army of hellhounds.
Okay.
Verity's not gonna let Frank run in alone. I think even in this kind of like half form, I don't let Sweet take full control again. I think that like I'm piloting now, so I take off after Frank.
The two of you leave the bus and go to run interference amongst these hellhounds, which are running towards you.
Can I mark experience for...
Yeah, you can mark experience for that. Go for it.
Yeah, cool.
Missy would like to try and heal the dragon because it might be too slow getting inside otherwise.
Okay.
So I'm going to use magic.
Yep.
That's a 9.
Okay. It will come with a glitch, so you'll have to pick a glitch off the list of options.
It could be fun if it brought immediate and welcome attention.
Steffi, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You get this game.
I do.
All right. You reach out and touch that pulse of energy that's not your heartbeat, but is like a heartbeat within you. And a gentler wave emits from your hands and passes over the dragon. And the breathing of this dragon does become more regular. And it quickly stands, nuzzles its head into your shoulder, but then leaps off the bus and through the barrier, this glyph-like orb around the museum, and runs up the steps and into the museum's facilities.
Oh, we should do that. Hey, you should stop trying to fight them and we should run in there.
I'll hold them off, don't worry.
It's a Frank, you're included in that. You should run.
I'll protect you.
I think I look at Jackie and I'm like, Jackie,
Yes,
if I ask you very nicely, will you run into the sphere of golden light?
I was already gonna run. Those are hellhounds.
Thank you. So, you know those doors at the back of the bus that no one's supposed to open?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So Missy just goes over, pushes it open, delicately hops out on her heels, and then just walks over to Frank.
I'm going to say Frank and Verity are chasing the hellhounds. If you want to go in the barrier, you could go, but I don't think you're going to catch up to him without putting yourself in a lot of danger.
Okay.
If you want to roll manipulate someone, you could try. I'll let you do one more plea, but I think Frank might be set in his ways.
Listen, I think you're gonna die, and I would like that not to happen. Could you go into the barrier?
After you.
It's your decision. Can't make you. Bye.
She runs in heels, but it's not like a real run. It's sort of like if you ever imagined what Princess Peach would look like walking in heels with her like arms slightly T-Rexed. She just sort of like runs with her hands pushing forward into the barrier.
Yep. So Jackie and Missy, you disappear into this golden barrier and you rush up the stairs of the museum after where the dragon went. Frank and Verity rushing side by side towards this horde of hellhounds that are approaching the bus, which again, the doors close and it takes off and just vanishes off into the night.
Verity isn't really running towards these hellhounds with the intention to kill them. She's here to make sure Frank doesn't die.
I also am not running at them with the intention of killing them. I'm trying to create a barrier between them and these three because I want to be the last one into the circle. I just want to protect my friends. Verity's trying to protect me, and I'm trying to protect her.
It's so sweet.
Verity, I got you. You just go in there, okay? I'll be right behind you.
Frank, with all due respect, no, that doesn't work that way.
I'm a firefighter. I can handle this.
Have you seen my body?
Yeah, you got some cool powers, but like, I'm trained in this, okay? These are fire creatures, and I know fire safety.
At this point, Frank is the equivalent of like a white knight who will absolutely run off a cliff if it means the kingdom is saved.
Yep.
And I think Verity at this point understands that that is not how stories really go. And as he's running, I am going to kind of wheel and turn, use my momentum. I am going to pick him up. I'm going to fireman carry him over my shoulder, and I'm going to run back towards the dome because he will just keep running and he will keep trying to fight. So I am going to pick Frank up and attempt to save him from imminent demise while I still have Sweet's powers before he decides to retract them and I am just the tiny little thing who eats a bunch of cake.
Yep.
As a 200-pound man, this has never happened to me before. So instead of what you would have expected, which would be me resisting, the moment I get scooped up and thrown over your shoulder, I'm just like, oh, okay. Okay. This is nice.
Yeah.
Would you like me to roll tough to do that?
No. We've established that Verity's powerful. With unholy strength, I think you could pick up a guy.
Cool.
Verity, you're so strong.
It's not me, Frank. I'll explain inside.
You vanish into the barrier. And as you rush up the steps, you are all greeted, Jackie first, then Missy, then the two of you as you arrive, by a trio of figures. One is a feminine figure in a white lab coat with sort of a black turtleneck and green skin. And like around the edges of her jawline and face are bark texture and then hair that is all swept to one side but resembles the needles of a redwood tree. And the two other individuals to the side of her, one is in sort of like a tracksuit, and they have a sort of dark blue purple coloration to their skin and are wreathed by about a dozen fireflies, pointed ears and gray blue hair. And then the third figure is a satyr with curling ram horns, fluffy sheep legs, and wearing just a Letterman jacket. They look like they could be a college student or maybe an intern.
I think I hang back for a second.
Yeah?
Like, I deposit Frank once we're up the stairs and inside, but seeing these people approach as Verity would step into a shadowed area and say, I can't have more people see me like this. You have to get inside.
The tendrils retreat and leave you back in your normal human form.
And so as the tendrils retract, Verity realizes her shirt is just shredded. So her go bag goes down and drops into her hand. She quickly pulls on a turtleneck so that she's decent again and goes to catch up with everyone else.
The plant-like woman, this dryad in the lab coat, says,
Is everyone all right? We saw the creature rushing in. It seemed like maybe something was wrong.
Do you mean the dragon?
Yes. At least we think that's what it is.
Yes, it's very injured. I tried to help it, but I can only do so much.
the satyr catches what you say, Missy, and she says, shit, I'll be back. Takes off, clap, 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 clap their little satyr hooves on the tile floor. And they run further into the museum. But the dryad starts to experience this pretty bad coughing fit, and the figure by her side helps to steady her.
I'm all right. I'm fine, Sky, thank you.
And you see a bit of smoke escapes from her mouth.
You seem ill.
Yes, I'm trying to fight something off. My name is Dr. Mir. Welcome. And thank you all for helping our young friend make it back here. From the sound of things outside, you had quite a few demons spawn on your heels.
You all can hear, it sounds like fireworks outside the barrier of the dome. And through the shifting sigils, you see bright flashes of gold and a lot of movement as the hellhounds are scattering and swarming around something out there. You see a couple of them get thrown at the barrier, which they collide with and then explode into cinders and ash and just sort of fall apart.
It does seem bad.
I'm going to walk up next to Jackie. Jackie, are we okay?
These are folk. These are folk.
Jackie's short-circuiting, Frank. But you see outside the barrier, if you watch where all this commotion is going on, a figure is moving very quickly amongst the hellhounds, sort of appearing and disappearing in these flashes. And after a couple more moments, everything dies down, everything goes quiet. And then there is a gold flash within the barrier. And appearing next to Dr. Mir is a woman with long brown hair. It's sort of tied in a loose ponytail and to the side, in a dark maroon leather jacket and a tactical suit of gray and white panels. A pair of bright wings extend from her back. And she says,
The swarms are getting bigger. Azazel must have a hellmouth nearby. Dr. Mir, unless we can reinforce the barrier, I don't think it's safe for her to stay here anymore.
Are they hunting all of you too? The hellhounds? Because they're definitely after that dragon.
Verity, when you speak up, this woman and the doctor turn to regard you for the 1st time, and you can all see in the dim half-lit light of this space The winged woman's eyes are glowing amber, similar to one of the dragons. And in an instant, too quick for any of you to properly react, this woman flies across the room, thrust forward by her wings, and has Verity slammed up against one of the large columns here in the museum entryway. Verity, she has you held in the air by your jacket and is glaring at you intensely.
I don't fight it.
She growls out between clenched teeth.
You have about 5 seconds to tell me which of my siblings sent you and how the hell you got in here. Fallen.
It's all fine, you guys. Everything's so fine for Verity. It's all so good.
Greetings, adventurer friends. It is my esteemed honor and privilege to congratulate you on finding the elusive midrail. Now, I would pour you a cup of tea in celebration, but you are where you are, and I am where I am. Perhaps, though, with a little help from one of our favorite sponsors, Many Worlds Tavern, something could be worked out. You see, Many Worlds Tavern is your guide to coffee, tea, and adventure. Every month, they release a new coffee, tea, and dice set inspired by one of the many realms they create as part of their D&D 5e digital content subscription. And that's on top of dozens of other brewable drinks and collectible merch they offer to get your game nights adventure ready. A portion of every purchase goes towards a new gaming-related nonprofit every month, and for a limited time only, you can get 10% off of your next order from the tavern with code STORYTELLER. All caps, of course. While not a coffee drinker, my personal tea affinity has made me a fan of their Spice Sands Masala Chai and their Hazy Hills Earl Grey tea. But I have a sneaking suspicion that their Guardian's Grace Mint Ginger Green Tea is about to claim the throne. Only time will tell. So whether you need inspiration for your next game night or a drink to share with your adventuring party, go check out Many Worlds Tavern, your guide to homebrew.
Hello, adventurers. It's Brittany here with a message from our amazing sponsor, Bookworm Games. Ahem. The world holds its breath. Fate is in your hands. Will you succeed and save the day, or will the dice betray you? The Kobold crew at Bookworm Games believe great stories start with great equipment, which is why they offer premium dice at accessible prices, handmade accessories, and immersive adventure kits bringing every game to life. Whether you're rolling resin, metal, or gemstone dice, lighting a custom-scented and hand-poured candle, or opening up a puzzle-filled quest chest for the first time, every detail is crafted to make your adventure unique and legendary. If your story is looking for that extra spark, the Artifacts Arcana line of quest coins will level up the excitement. Powerful narrative tools and props, each coin unlocks 8 to 12 hours of rich, story-driven adventure. Need a relic with a dark past? A 3-piece map to a lost treasure? A story of love and betrayal with clues and riddles bringing the truth to light? These coins act as both the prop and MacGuffin for your game, seamlessly integrating into any campaign and making storytelling effortless. Your table deserves the best experience possible, and with the fastest shipping their goblin messengers can manage, trusted quality, and thousands of satisfied heroes, there's no reason to wait. Visit bookwormgames.com. That's BookWYRM Games.com and use code STORYTELLER for 10% off your order. Let your story begin. And now, back to our story. Thanks for listening, adventurers. See you next time.
Verity, despite the perilous situation you're in, you don't hear Sweet's voice in your mind at all. But through your connection, you realize why. Sweet is terrified because you are staring down the being he was afraid that the dragon was when it first appeared. Here, actually in the flesh, is Eastie agent Aiden Brightwood, the rescue agent, the First Light, the only known celestial who still calls the Earth home. And she questions you again.
Who sent you? Was it Asmodeus? Leviathan? Who are you?
My name's Verity. I'm not a threat to you or the dragon, I swear. Trust me, I wish I was just back at home getting work done, and I promise you I'm not your enemy. I won't let him out again, okay?
Frank squishes in there and is just like, can we just calm down for a second and figure out what's going on? Verity's my friend, and you need to set her down.
It's fine, Frank. We're just talking.
Aiden spares you a glance, Frank, before her eyes lock back on Verity, peering at you for a long moment. And then the glow in her eyes dulls, and she slowly sets you down and backs away. Though her stance is still very on edge and defensive, her wings remain spread, blocking Verity from any direct paths into the museum.
You're one of Bielsa's.
I'm not. He might be.
I recognize their handiwork. Spark binding is a real nasty curse.
Look, I don't really know a lot about what happened to me.
Roll manipulate someone.
My worst skill.
It's funny because I'm so good, but I'm just not ever doing it.
It's a 9.
So, Frank, this presents the perfect opportunity. If you help out, you could push that to a 10 with a successful roll.
I will try to help out. I start just talking about how great Verity's been tonight and how helpful she is and how she's on our side.
Okay, roll help out, which is plus cool.
Frank is the best boy. We must protect him.
I get an 8.
On a 7 to 9, your help grants them +1 to their roll, but you also expose yourself to trouble or danger. Aiden is watching Verity as you're pleading her case, Frank, and she seems to at least be listening to you, but still just unwaveringly watching Verity as you make this argument. What's the thing you say to really try and convince this angel that she should let your demon-possessed friend stay in proximity here?
All night, Verity's been awesome. And she could have gone after that dragon any time, but she fought all those monsters that were after it instead. And just now, she literally saved me. That's got to count for something, right?
Aiden's wings fold in and vanish from her back, and she steps up to you again, Verity, this time slightly less aggressively. She seems to be searching for something with her stare. Her amber eyes feel like they could pierce to the core of who you are, and maybe even beyond that to your constant companion's suite. But she says,
You wouldn't be the first demon spawn to abandon the place apart. But that doesn't mean I trust you. You're not going anywhere near that dragon.
and she turns to walk over to the Dryad and the other folk.
Verity, what's going on?
Verity looks at Aiden and the group of folk conferring, and she just says, Frank, we just dodged an angel-shaped bullet. Before I get into it, you're just going to need to give me a minute, okay? And it's the most assertive you've heard Verity be all evening.
Sorry. I just... Why did they look like they were gonna hurt you?
I want to gather people around me, Jackie, Missy, and Frank.
Your group of friends, you mean?
Sure.
Are we doing a huddle?
By the way, Verity, I hope you don't mind I called you my friend, but I think we're there now, yeah, you know?
Yeah, it was really nice of you to say, Frank. I just don't really keep friends around because of, obvious reasons.
Well, consider me your friend.
You're not the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Wait, what? What have you seen?
A lot.
Oh,
A lot.
okay. Dang.
Anyway, what's up with you?
So about 2 years ago, I was out at night. I was actually on my way to 8-Bit just to get a coffee or something because I had a deadline the next day. There was a fire that I walked past and I was about to call someone and then I blacked out and it hurt when I woke up and I noticed that there was this, and I think that Verity gently pulls down the turtleneck and there is a vertical eye tattooed on the center of her chest in gold. I didn't really know what it meant. And then it started talking to me. I had this voice inside my head.
So the eye is talking, or is the voice, where is the inside voice, outside
So like a
voice?
possession.
He's like a being, like a passenger.
You're describing a possession.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I call him Sweet. I don't know his name because he won't tell it to me because I think names have power. So he won't tell it to me, but he's old. Really old.
Can I ask what its name is?
Are you asking me?
No.
You want to talk to Sweet?
Yes, I think I can.
Missy, if you want to reach out and interact with the being that is connected to Verity, that will require a use magic roll.
Oh boy.
The magic at work here is old magic. This is not just a simple possession affecting Verity. So if you want to communicate with the entity that is bonded to her spark, that's going to take a little effort versus being part of a passive thing you could do.
Okie dokie.
I'm in danger.
7.
Okay, so this magic is going to come with a glitch.
It has a problematic side effect.
Awesome. Describe what this looks like for me.
Missy looks at Verity, and I think for a moment, anyone that's looking at her, there's like a pink glow that emits from her eyes that sort of erases her pupils and her irises. And to Missy, the world starts to thrum and shake, almost like when you have vertigo and you're about to fall or throw up, but the world is just rumbling. And then there's just blank, except for Verity and whatever else Missy can see.
How are you seated, Verity? Or are you standing in this little huddle?
I'm standing, I think, and like as Missy reaches out to me, I think there's like an immediate instinct to recoil, but then I let it happen.
Like you say, everything disappears except the two of you on this sort of dimly lit plane. And in the darkness behind Verity, a vertical eye opens and then more. And a legion of these vertical eyes just open in the shadow of this dark plane, and tendrils rush forward towards you. And all of you watch as Missy glows pink for a moment and then vanishes. And there is a tendril crept out from underneath Verity's hair that has just shot through the space that Missy once stood and impacted with a column across the lobby.
God damn it, Sweet! I'm sorry. She touched me. She shouldn't have. He didn't.
Where did Missy go?
I don't know.
Aiden appears in another gold flash in front of you, her wings shielding Frank and Jackie. Seriously? I thought you'd at least play nice for more than 2 minutes.
I get it, okay? I get it. You don't like what I am.
Mostly, I get the feeling that thing doesn't like any of us.
You know, he's old. He's older than old. He's older than dirt. And he's pissed off.
Great. That makes 2 of us.
And you know whose job it is to keep him together? Me. He doesn't listen to anybody else, and he barely listens to me. So I would appreciate if you gave me a little breathing room, lest he try that with you.
I'm not afraid of him. It's obviously the other way around. And you all hear a bus horn going off. It almost sounds like it's coming from the roof. Aiden shoots a look upwards, then back to the 3 of you left here. Just stay here. I have to go see what that's about. And she goes dashing up a nearby stairwell.
While this is happening, could I use oops in this moment while I'm like glancing outside to see what the situation is with all of these creatures that were attacking the wall, and just see if I stumble across anything in my gaze?
There's not much happening outside the dome.
Okay.
But if you want to use oops, I can have you stumble across something interesting going on here at the museum.
Yeah, I stumble across something as I'm wandering.
Frank, as the lobby of the museum falls quiet, you feel yourself drawn towards another light source further into the museum, in the direction that the satyr ran off. And you see the dryad and her other assistant heading that way as well.
I'm drawn away, but I feel like Missy has to be somewhere, so I'm kind of like looking around to see if she's teleported somewhere nearby. And so I'm just kind of wandering away, and then I do catch this light, and I'm kind of just like drawn towards it. And I'm like, well, Missy's magical. That looks magical. Let's try it out.
Which leaves Jackie and Verity. Let's finish up your scene, then we'll follow up with the others.
So you're like a little bit of a demon, hey?
Yes, Sweet is a demon spawn of Beelzebub.
Cool. I have some questions.
Yeah, sure. But if you see the eyes on me again, can you tell me? I usually feel them, but like...
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what he did to Missy, and I just don't want to hurt anyone else. And I think Verity actually turns a little inward so she can talk to Sweet in that moment, and she says quite sternly, "Where did you put her?"
She left.
Is she back on the bus?
Folk have strange magics. I can't say exactly what happened, but our magic will not touch us.
Okay, fine. Well, Mr. All-Knowing Old-as-Shit Demon, did you have a plan for the angel after you popped Missy out of existence? You weren't so keen to flex on her.
There's a lot going on right now, Verity Ames. The first light is here. Azazel is trying to take my city. Not to mention a completely inexplicable and frustratingly elusive new dragon. I have not been beset by this many dangerous unknowns since the Great War.
I don't even respond. I think there's just a tisk of a just like, yeah, okay. You've come out to play. Now who has to go inside the host because you can't survive on your own?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, he's like a really bad roommate. We usually get along actually really well. The problems really generally start to come when we have to interact with other people.
I thought you were just super spacey this whole time because you do this thing where you like stare off into the middle distance and you come back and you're all stressed and...
Yeah, it's because he's talking to me and I can't do both at the same time.
Yeah, I get that. Don't worry about Missy. She's probably fine.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. She seems pretty used to all this crazy stuff. I met her one time before tonight. I ended up on her bus and things got weird. So ever since then, I stopped taking public transit and I haven't gotten in any sort of vehicle after that either, which is why I was out walking the night, Sweet and I. Well, you know.
Oh.
Now I just walk everywhere, alone. I only really leave my house at night. He's hard to manage, but we actually have quite a decent friendship most of the time. He's actually really funny when he's not being an absolute asshole.
Yeah, I've had friends like that.
And he likes cake. Any sweet things, really. It keeps him calm. He really likes all the baked goods and desserts at 8-bit, so that's why we come in. It's kind of the only thing that chills him out besides cigarettes, and I'd rather not mess up my lungs. They just work a little faster in a pinch if I need them.
Huh. Okay, so sugar and fire. But he didn't seem to like those hellhounds very much. What's going on there?
Yeah, so as far as I know, Azazel is the demon actually making those hell beasts and sending them here. Obviously, they've been setting fires all over and we didn't know why she was doing it in the first place. He didn't like it. This area, the land in and around the city suite, claims that it's his, that it was a gift from Beelzebub. So when Azazel's hellhounds started showing up and making a mess of everything, Sweet got pretty pissed off. And so we've been going out and, well, yeah, you saw what happens.
Yeah, you like merged or something?
Yeah, we're merged. Can you keep a secret?
Yeah.
You sure about that? You're kind of trembling.
Yeah, super secret. Very secrets.
If he and I were to separate, I think I'd die.
Oh, that's bad. Don't do that, Ben.
Yeah, it's not really up to me, Jackie.
Okay, well, I've actually done a lot of reading on this subject. Well, not on that subject particularly, because I've just kind of learned about that whole thing right now. But the demon lords and their business and the deals they strike and the way they need you. A demon spawn needs you.
Yeah, maybe, but I did kind of call him an idiot for bonding with me earlier this evening.
Why would you do that?
Because he was being an ass.
Okay. Well, like, sometimes when people are rude to us, like, when a customer is rude to me, I don't throw their drink in their face and call them an ass because I need tips to pay my rent. In this analogy, the tips are you surviving.
And Verity cracks here a little. She gets kind of emotional, but I think you can see she's still guarded. I don't really have any other friends, Jackie. I don't really want him to leave either.
Okay, Verity, I'll make you a deal.
Uh-huh.
Step 1, whenever someone offers to make you a deal, don't say yes, okay? That's my first piece of advice. That's free, okay?
Okay, sure.
What I'm saying is, I'll be your friend, okay? We'll be friends, and you'll tell me all the cool things you know about the demons, and you'll survive. That's the deal. That's the whole deal.
I don't know if I can promise that, Jackie. I mean, I barely know anything myself.
Listen, and Jackie's gonna extend her hand. Deals have power. It's a deal.
I think there's a moment where Verity truly considers what deal would override another deal. And if I make this deal to survive, knowing what I know about what will happen if Sweet unbinds to me, I think that it's like, well, the other option is death. I extend my hand forward and I shake Jackie's hand. If we're gonna be friends, I feel like we should talk about more than just demons, though, right? That's what friends do.
Yeah, of course. You can tell me about the snakes you work with.
No, it's not like an actual snake. It's a type of code.
Oh, that's so much worse. I thought you worked with snakes this whole time.
No, but the company that I work for, our symbol is a snake.
That's very confusing.
Verity points to the symbol on her jacket, which is a little green snake. They sent me this. It's the wrong size, but I like how big it is. It's comfortable.
We are going to pan away from this beautiful little moment of friendship through the ceiling of the museum and onto the roof, where we see a bus. Missy, you wake up on the bus, as you have many times before.
Oh no. Am I in China this time? Why are we so high up? Chuck!
You see it is dark outside. Chuck is up at the front.
Chuck, where am I now?
You look outside, and wherever you are, it's a very strange landscape. The ground rises in these large mounds that have large glass windows in them. There are these winding, snaking walkways that wrap and meander through these hills of wildflowers and grasses, illuminated by garden spotlights and dotted with chimneys and HVAC duct vents.
Oh no, I'm in Florida!
You see at the front of the bus, Chuck is just eating a tuna sandwich wrapped in wax paper, but he wipes his hands on a napkin and pulls the lever to open the door to the bus. And Aiden, the angel from earlier, steps on board. Hey, are you all right?
Huh? Oh, I think I almost got eaten by an ancient primordial demon beast, but I'm fine.
Yeah, you're gonna want to be careful around him. Befriending demon spawn can be complicated.
I'm learning that. But, basically whenever I'm about to, get in trouble or mortally perish,
Or, be ripped apart by eldritch beings, I end up back here.
How long have you had a change worm?
a what?
A change worm?
What's that?
She looks to Chuck, who continues to eat his sandwich, and in between bites just mumbles,
Not time to talk about it.
Chuck doesn't tell me much.
Got it. I'm gonna head back downstairs. Do you want to come?
Sure, but what's a change worm?
It's a folk thing. You'll figure it out.
I'm gonna ask Jackie. She knows all sorts of weird things.
You head out of the bus, and Aiden shows you that you're actually just on the roof of the museum, which has been turned into this rolling hill-like garden.
So I'm not in Florida. Things are definitely looking up already. Is everyone okay?
Yeah, I want to check on the creature, so...
I'll come with you. I like the dragon.
Me too. And you walk with Aiden. Frank, you had followed the folk and this oddly enticing light source towards the center of the museum, and you approach a large glass sphere with walkways that spiral up around it and doorways that open into this structure at different levels to crisscrossing internal walkways. It's basically a massive terrarium pod about 3 stories high, filled with lots of plants and surrounded by a water feature that looks to be part aquarium, part scientific display. The sheephorn satyr exits the sphere and comes down the main ramp to meet the dryad and Sky, the night elf, and you as you follow along. She says,
I think it's resting. I didn't see a lot of blood, so whatever those people did seems to have helped it.
Are you guys talking about the dragon?
The 2 folk who hadn't noticed you following them turn to face you, and the satyr says,
Yeah. Wait, you can see it?
Oh, I learned Latin tonight. So yeah, I'm magic now, so I'm cool.
Dr. Mear's face breaks into this warm and completely judgment-free grin, and she says,
Congratulations. That must be very exciting for you.
Yeah. My friend Jackie just talks about this stuff all the time, but I've never actually seen any of it until tonight. I mean, I've met a few people here and there, but nothing like this. So this is my first time seeing a dragon or seeing demon hounds or magic buses, and it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, but it's pretty cool.
Dr. Mir says,
Well, we're just about to go observe the creature and see how she's doing. If you'd like to come along. We've been studying her for several days since she showed up. We're trying to create a safe space for her here in the biosphere.
Observing's my favorite, so yeah, I'll come along.
you can follow them up the ramp and into this sphere. When you enter this sphere, something about the air in here feels different on your skin. It's like it's cleaner than the freshest air that you've experienced if you've ever gone out camping in the woods or anything like that. It's just, there's like something especially perfect about the space you have entered here. And the blue-skinned folk with the fireflies turns to you and they say, "Is this your first time in a haven?"
I think so.
Kind of gathered. You got a little, and he points to the corner of your eyes, which are a little watery and like misty.
Oh, sorry. This is a new experience for me.
Dr. Mir says,
Nothing to apologize for. It's perfectly natural for humans to react emotionally when entering a haven for the first time. We are trying very hard to restore what was lost during the Great War. This is the culmination of our research efforts thus far. We think it's what drew the dragon here, a familiarity of sorts.
If we save the dragon, is that going to help us out? I know that there's a bunch of fiery monsters outside, and I won't lie, I'm a little over my head here, so I'm just trying to figure out what I can do to help. Do you want? I got some water in my backpack if you'd like some.
No, I'll be fine. I drink from the air.
which, Frank, being local to the area, you would know that's the thing that coastal redwoods do. They get nearly all their moisture from the fog that blankets the region so often. But Dr. Mir leads you and the other folk onto this observation deck that extends over the terrarium, giving a decent view of the levels below.
Oh, good. She seems to be at ease for the moment.
And you can see below, along the edge of the faux river that runs through this contained space, is the little dragon creature, still glowing, sitting there curled up, and resting their head on a mossy rock as the water bubbles by.
It's beautiful.
She is quite a sight. We weren't sure what to make of her when she first arrived. We think they're quite young, in fact.
It came to our bar tonight. If it's young, it probably was underage, and that's probably against regulation, but I think we can make a pass this time.
The satyr speaks up, and she says,
We've been trying to encourage it to stay here because of all the fires in the city, but if those are all happening because of these demon spawn, we really got to figure out a way to stop her from going out. She's just so curious, and she seems to have an affinity for people.
Is there anything that me and my friends can do to get rid of these demon spawn? I mean, they're causing all sorts of problems. They almost burnt down our bar tonight.
I might have a few ideas.
Missy, you and Aiden approach the three folk and Frank at this point.
Missy!
Frank!
I actually run up and I hug Missy. I'm so glad you're okay.
Missy, as you entered the sphere with Aiden, you also sensed the change. And as you're standing here talking with Frank, it's odd because he's got this watch on and you can see that it's about 1:30.
Missy grabs your arm and pulls the watch up.
It's a sports watch. It both tells the time, but it also has my heart rate on it, and it's got the date. And I'm showing her features on my watch because I think she just likes the watch.
You know it's autumn and it's 1:30 in the morning.
Where are we? What is this place?
I mean, we're in a dome.
Dr. Mir steps forward and she says,
This is the California Academy of Sciences Haven Research and Restoration Sphere. Welcome, young lady.
I can see what time it is.
You do look like you're just about ready.
Ready for what?
Aiden interjects, a bit rudely, honestly, but there's some urgency to her voice. She says, Dr. Mir, now that we're sure Azazel is after the dragon, I'm worried you might not just be experiencing some seasonal discomfort. The demon lords have been ripping hellmouths open across the country to get at her. And she gestures at the baby dragon. There was one in Boston and then Chicago recently.
Are we talking about a source of these demon creatures in the fires?
Aiden turns to you and she says, Frank, if Azazel's after the dragon in this city, then I would bet there's a hellmouth nearby. And she could definitely be disguising it within a natural forest fire.
I mean, I have a map of all the recent forest fires and all the fires in the area. I got ways of finding out where those are. I mean, if we can help, that sounds simple enough. Just closing a hellmouth, no sweat, right?
I wouldn't call it easy, but if you're serious about helping, could we take a look at that map of yours?
And I go into my backpack and I have a map. And I'm like, so here's all the places where there's been recent fires in the last few months.
Jackie and Verity, what are you up to right now?
Verity feels very much that, like, she can't go places in here without a very intimidating femme with wings pinning her against a wall for something she can't control. So I think...
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I mean, it's great.
Just gonna say, kinda hot.
It's super hot.
It's kind of...
Should have been me. It should have been me.
Super hot.
She's taken.
Please, I'll get pinned by the hot lady with wings.
Watching that was Jackie's gay awakening, actually.
I just think that Verity is honestly looking for Jackie for what to do. But I think that there's a moment that, like, once their conversation kind of ends, I think she turns inward once more. You want the dragon dead?
I want Azazel out of my city.
You think she's here for the dragon?
Yes, it is a powerful spark.
Why don't you want the dragon?
We should leave Verity Ames.
You didn't answer my question.
If the First Light is guarding that thing, we cannot take it.
Oh, you're scared of her.
I don't.
It's just good to know that you have limits, too. Everyone has limits. You're allowed to be scared of things.
If she destroys me, you will die.
You could also leave me at any moment, and I'd also die. I've accepted my fate, pal. It doesn't scare me.
Just be careful. The First Light is older than me.
Somebody sounds jealous.
Grumble, 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 grumble. You're like needling him in all of his sore spots.
Oh, it's a big bad demon threatened by someone older than them. Oh, are you so mad? Are you angry?
Exactly. Look, you can be an ass and so can Verity.
Yep.
Jackie has been talking at you this whole time. Jackie has made a flow chart of how she thinks the players in this supernatural conflict are playing out.
Yeah. And Jackie, I will say just something you would know. Aiden is like a famous Eastie agent. She's been on the news. She was at the Battle of Atlantic City. You know, she's the only angel on the planet. She's a celebrity for people who are obsessed with the supernatural in the way that you tend to be.
I am obsessed a little bit. It's like, okay, imagine if an indie kid saw Taylor Swift. I don't want to be as excited as I am. I want to be above such things, but I'm fucking stoked. I'm losing my damn mind, but I'm trying to play it cool. I want to think I'm like...
It's incredible.
Wow, that's so accurate.
That's how I feel about it. But on the diagram, there are little hearts around the Aiden the First Light.
Yeah.
But those are just for illustrative purposes. They're actually wings because she has wings.
Yeah, absolutely, Jackie. That's a great...
So she has matching eyes with the dragon, and that's got to be important, right?
Okay.
And then over here, we have the folk from the museum, and also Chuck, the bus driver.
Uh-huh.
And then over here, we have the competing demon lords you told me about. And that's you, right there, that's you.
Well, it's not me. It's Sweet.
Sure. Hey, I have a thought that could help you. Okay, so debrief on how to interact with the Fae. Never say thank you. Never say sorry. Do not accept any food or drink. Do not dance under any circumstances. Okay, are you ready? You got it?
Yeah, I might need a flashcard later.
Great. Do not give them your name.
I already did that.
Yeah, I know. We'll work on it, okay?
I appreciate you trying, Jackie. I know a lot about a very small part of this, and even still, there's stuff that Sweet just won't tell me, and that's probably for the best. I don't need to know all of this. I don't want to be a font of information about the demon lords.
As little as you know, Frank knows so much less. We really have to go help him.
We should go find Frank.
Okay.
I think we can say that, like, the group of researchers, Dr. Mir, Aiden, Missy, and Frank, can, like, leave the sphere. The baby dragon is sleeping. You're going to let them sleep away and rest after being attacked. But Aiden's going over the map with you, Frank. And she says, and how many of these started within, like, the past month or so?
Oh, most of these, actually, if you look here. So this is actually the one that I was fighting earlier tonight. It was actually in town, but that, I think, was caused by the demon hounds. Now, they would have had to travel from somewhere. So if we look at these ones here that were over the last few months, they're all around this area. So looking at the map, am I starting to maybe piece together, like, if I look at the recent fires, is there like a center to it, like an obvious sort of area that it seems it's branching out from?
I think this is an oops.
Yeah, okay, this is my oops. So as I'm like circling it, I'm like, and then if we, and I like circle this section on the map, what am I circling?
You single out a fire on your map. And it wasn't one you thought to investigate when you first got out the map, because it's actually quite small compared to some of the other reported fires you have information on. It hasn't been large enough that they've dispatched anyone for it. Fires are a natural process, and a lot of the forests here are able to just combat them by letting them pass through. This one, though, hasn't spread very much. It's just been sort of a smoldering thing that hasn't really traveled or changed its position. For the amount of smoke coming from that portion, as you're like flipping through reports and cross-referencing, you see that like the heat signature is not actually as intense as a blaze would cause. So it's just this sort of like low intensity burn. And Aiden says, well, if that isn't it, it's as good a place to start as any. Nice work.
Missy, your bus, can you call it, and can it drive into forests? I don't know how magic works.
It's not my bus, it's Chuck's bus, but I can ask.
Okay.
I have not seen any limitations to where it can go.
Great.
One time I definitely woke up and saw, like, I think it was a castle underwater. I'm not really sure. There was a lot of coral in the way.
Aiden turns to Dr. Mir and she shows her the map. What do you think? And Dr. Mir closes her eyes, extends a hand to the map, and she says,
Ah, yes. Right here.
and she gestures to like the lower part of her sternum and then just to the left side where her ribs begin. And Aiden puts a hand out and touches that same spot on Dr. Mir, and she says, I've got it. And then she looks to you, Frank, and she says, I might actually have a use for your friend with the demon after all.
She's really nice. You should get to know her.
Can vouch. Pretty cool.
Verity, you hear this as you and Jackie approach.
We were just talking about you.
Yay. Hi. I look over to Aiden. I'm Verity. Verity Ames.
Oh my God, what did I just tell you?
I did just break first rule.
Why not give them your social security number?
Are we supposed to do that? I'm looking through my wallet.
No, Frank, oh my God.
Aiden walks over to you, Verity. She seems a lot more calm, and she will smile and hold out her hand. Hi, Verity. I'm Aiden Brightwood. I came at you kind of hot back there, and I'm sorry. Trying to protect this dragon has had me a little on edge.
Yeah, that's, I get it. My friend gets defensive sometimes too, of me. I probably shouldn't shake your hand though, honestly. And I smile at her, a little apologetic.
She leaves her hand extended and says, well, I could actually use your help. And your friends too. They have a name?
I call him Sweet.
Aiden's expression turns serious and she starts to glow again, but her body language is still relaxed. What do you say, old one? Can we talk?
Verity just whispers under her breath. What do you think?
Tendrils extend from within the cuff of your coat, Verity, and encircle Aiden's hand, pulling your two hands together. You hear Sweet's voice in your mind, but you get the feeling his words aren't for you.
Speak. First light.
Azazel has an open hellmouth nearby. I get the feeling we'd both rather see it closed. You help me close it, I'll forget I saw you here tonight. Promise.
Deal.
Jackie, Missy, Frank, you see as the two of them shake hands, gold runes spin out from Aiden's forearm, and dark black runes with a green aura extend out from Verity's forearm and bind, and then settle into both of their skin.
Jackie, didn't you write something like this? Enemies to lovers fanfic or something?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I read that.
Really?
You read it to me multiple times. At the bar.
I didn't think you were listening.
I'm always listening, Jackie.
Frank listens to a lot of things.
Oh, thanks, guys. I really think it'll find its audience soon.
I'm sure it will. It was a great story.
We have to go. Aiden turns her attention to you, Jackie, and she says, "Are you a witch?"
Maybe.
You're a witch?
Shh, Frank, be cool.
Be chill, bro. Be chill.
So chill right now. This is the most normal day. It's so normal.
Yeah.
It'll have to do. We need multiple people to close the hellmouth from this side. Everybody grab on. I'll get us close. And she will offer her arms and hands out for you all to take a hold of them.
Guys, this is definitely the coolest day of my life. And Jackie's gonna try and snap a selfie of her holding Aiden's hand.
What are we doing exactly?
Aiden grins as she starts to glow. Hold on tight, Frank Newman. The five of you suddenly appear in the middle of Mere Woods. And you see just beyond a ridge and some of the fallen deadfall trunks of this forest, smoke and embers rising into the air.
Okay, guys. I've done a lot of learning tonight. There's a hellmouth in these woods, and we're going to close it. And I think we can do it because I brought my axe.
Aiden, can an axe close a hellmouth?
No offense, but I don't think that's going to cut it. We're going to need some big magic to pull this off.
Wait! And I pull out the chalice. I got this too.
Okay, that's something.
That's really special water. It's really good against demons. Keep it away from Verity.
Noted.
Verity, you hear Sweet in your mind.
The doorway is here. The air is thick with Azazel's corruption.
Big guy says the doorway's here.
Can you feel it?
I look towards Aiden. If I let him out a little, he could probably help us find it. Is that okay?
Why do you think I brought you?
Well, be careful what you wish for. And I say to Sweet, okay, pal, listen to me. There is an angel here. You better not try and pull anything stupid. Got it?
We are bound by a promise, Verity Ames. What trouble could I cause?
Oh my God. Just keep it together. She's not scared of you, and neither am I. And I let him out. Ribbons snake out from under my pant legs and circle up my legs from the bottom. It is real magical girl transformation energy, just in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
It's kind of beautiful in a terrifying way. And so I think it transforms Verity from like the waist or like midsection down. And there are like eyes all over the legs. It's almost just like a really cool pair of pants.
Yeah.
Demon pants.
Demon pants. Demon pants.
The eyes do notably avert away from Aiden and sort of train themselves forward towards the smoking ridge ahead.
And I think as he comes out, I go, are you bashful now?
Shut up.
Never. As we walk forward.
I follow. I'm going to stick close to the front with Verity.
Aiden will stick to the middle so that her wings can sort of light everyone's path in front of you so you don't trip over roots or anything.
I just want to point out that Missy has not changed her shoes and she is walking just fine.
As you crest the ridge, you look down, and indeed, down this slope, the sides of which are covered in ferns and moss and other forest floor cover, and lots of needles from the redwoods that rise as tall, towering shapes into the night sky above. And there is this rift, roiling and flickering, but not growing in size. And it's not very big. You all see it within this little depression in the ground. Frank and Jackie, as soon as you lay eyes on this thing, tears just start to stream down the sides of your face uncontrollably. So much so that you kind of don't want to look at what lies beyond this crack in the space here. But Missy and Verity, you are both fine.
Frank being Frank, chalice in one hand, axe in the other, I turn to the four of you and I go, "It's okay, guys. I got this. And I learned magic tonight." And I'm going to run towards the Hellmouth. What could go wrong? Whenever you charge into immediate danger, without hedging your bets, hold two. I have the chalice, and I feel empowered by my magic capabilities.
Everyone else, Frank is kicking off this big magic, which we are going to have to perform together without a plan. So let's all think quickly on our feet before our good boy falls into the place apart.
Oh my God. Okay, actually, Jackie's gonna run after Frank and jump on him like a koala. Just like, her thought was she was gonna be able to stop him, but forgot how much bigger he is.
Yeah.
So she has essentially just latched on. What are you doing? I read so much. I could have.
Jackie, I can't let anything happen to you. I gotta protect you. I got the chalice. Don't worry, it's magical.
Everything here is magical. All these people are magical. Everyone except us.
I mean, you seem pretty magical.
And this is why you should. Wait, you think I'm magical?
Why else do you think I hang out at a bar where you make me serve the other patrons?
Aw, thanks, Frank. Emotionally, you seem pretty magical too, but in the very literal sense, you do not have magic powers.
I saw a dragon tonight with my own eyes, and that's because I read Latin.
That's just an ancient human language.
What?
Yeah.
I thought that was the magic language.
No. Most witches are just goths, so they write all their spells in Latin for vibes.
So I don't have magic powers?
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
A bellowing roar comes from beyond the other side of the Hellmouth as you two pause here just along its edge.
Oh my God.
Jackie, I think I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
Jackie, we're really close to the Hellmouth, and I don't have any magic powers.
The two of you are sobbing in the presence of this very dark magic thing.
We're just crying. We're just stupid humans. We're gonna die in a Hellmouth.
Can I still keep the two hold for running in head first?
Yes, you do.
Okay, great. I accomplished that.
You can't stop being a good boy, okay? Like, you can't stop that.
Yeah, that doesn't go away.
Would you consider this Frank following my advice?
Sure.
Okay, then you get +1 ongoing, so long as you continue to follow my advice.
Jackie, I don't want to die.
It's fine. We'll be fine. We just have to work with our very magical friends. We literally have the coolest angel in the world on our side.
You utter this reassurance, Jackie, and all at once, Aiden soars up over the ridge. Verity slinks down to join you, making huge strides with her stilt-like demon legs. And a moment later, Missy appears, daintily skipping down the slope in her heels.
I'm going into a hellmouth.
The three of you can take up positions in a triangle around this hellmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden will call across the rift to you, Frank, and she says, "Okay, now might be a good time to get out that chalice."
Do I just throw it on the Hellmouth?
Sure. Let's start there and see how it goes, okay? It's been a while since I tried to close one of these. Normally the agency sends a team of experts.
Cool. I'm going to start splashing it around the Hellmouth and speaking the Latin that I read earlier, hoping that helps.
I'm going to have you roll use magic.
Oh, no.
Can I jinx to help?
Yeah, you could.
I can encourage a coincidence to happen. One of the options is help a hunter. That's a 9. So hold 1, which means I can use it to help a hunter, giving them 1 forward. Oh, it's by interfering with the enemy. Can the enemy be the Hellmouth?
Yeah, for sure.
So I have 2 +1s from various sources.
You have so many bonuses right now, Frank.
And that's going to counter my -1, so I'm actually now at a +1 overall.
You're doing so good.
We believe in you.
Friendship is magic.
And I get a 7 on the dice, +1 is 8. On a 7 to 9, it works perfectly. Choose your effect and a glitch. Okay, I've never used magic before.
Just a beginner spell, closing a hellmouth. There's only 2 active ones that the entire agency is struggling to close right now.
Banish a spirit or curse from the person, object, or place it inhabits. Can I, try to uncurse the land that this hellmouth is on?
Yes, you can, Frank. And I will say it sort of starts to make sense to you because you are a firefighter.
Yeah.
With this magic chalice with enchanted water, and you're in a forest. I think as you are performing this magic, you think back about how Dr. Mir, who shares a name with this forest, was coughing and seemed kind of under the weather. This is not a curse on a piece of mundane earth. This forest is innately magical. And Dr. Mir, the Dryad guardian of Mir Woods, is likely sick because this Hellmouth appeared within her forest. You do need to pick a glitch, but your magic begins to take hold as the water sprinkles around the edge of the Hellmouth, and we see it start to tremor, but in a different way, and the diameter of it starts to shrink.
My glitch is that it needs 1 or 2 people to help me cast the spell. I'm not doing it very well on my own.
That is not one of the standard options. I think you might be on the page for big magic in the rules. However, I actually like that as a glitch. You're going to need help finishing this spell. It is incomplete right now.
So I'm just saying a Latin phrase that might not mean anything, and I'm splashing water, and the cup keeps refilling, and I'm like moving in a circle around the Hellmouth.
Missy, you have jinxed Frank to keep the effects of the Hellmouth from completely debilitating him. Jackie, you want in on this big magic?
Do I ever?
Let's have you roll, see what you do.
An 11.
Amazing. No glitch.
No glitch.
What would you like to contribute?
Jackie does kind of dabble in alchemy. As a bartender, it's the only kind of magic she gets to tinker with. So she knows some of the alchemical symbols for like water. So I think what she does, she says like, okay, wait, I have a thought. And rearranges the group into like the triangle that would form the alchemy shape for water over top of the Hellmouth.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I think by rearranging the positions that people are in around this Hellmouth, the chalice, rather than constantly filling, it resonates with this position you've figured out. And basically you have a fire hose in your hand, Frank.
Yeah!
Gallons of water emitting from the chalice now.
I'm doing it!
As this Hellmouth is affected and begins to shrink further and further, Aiden will lay her hand down into the ground, and she is going to use Lay on Hands to heal her friend, Dr. Mir. On a mix with Lay on Hands, she's going to take some of this into herself. And so we see the Hellmouth begins to fight and struggle with her. And you hear this laugh emit from the Hellmouth.
Aiden, you would try to cast me from this place without your precious spirit witch to help you? I will not give up the hunt for this new dragon so easily, sister.
This red lightning strikes Aiden and courses through her. She fights to endure it, her celestial spark burning brightly to oppose Azazel's dark magics.
I can reduce that harm by 1. That's one of my carrying 2 over, so I'm gonna splash her with a bit of the holy water to try to like alleviate.
Yeah, it definitely lessens the effect, but there still is this like tether of red lightning that is emitting from the Hellmouth and sort of striking her in the chest.
It's still the same night, right? Like it's before sunrise right now?
You got here pretty quickly. It's like 1:45.
Great, love that for me. Verity is tired. It's been a physically tiring evening, and I think Verity is like, let's get this done. And hearing Azazel taunt Aiden, she can appreciate that there's history there and why Aiden is so on edge around her, but she turns inward one more time and she says to Sweet, can you help us?
Azazel cannot muster her full strength in this world. The humans and the First Light are successfully closing this portal. But we must use this opportunity. Push the First Light through the Hellmouth.
No, what?
This is the only way to guarantee our safety. She cannot threaten us from the place apart.
No!
Do this, and I will tell you my real name.
I don't know if you were listening to Jackie earlier, but you're not supposed to give anyone your real name. Don't be stupid. She's way stronger than us. She will stop me and she will kill you. She promised to leave us alone if we'd help, so we're helping her. I'm trying to save you here, okay?
Salvation is a fool's errand.
Tendrils start to wrap around your arms, Verity, as Sweet tries to take control.
No, absolutely not. I'm going to resist him.
Act under pressure.
Please. Oh, God. 6.
The tendrils spread across your body, cover your face, and the vertical eye opens.
Do I have any wherewithal before he takes over?
This is a loud, screaming portal. There's lots of water now shooting everywhere. I think you might have enough time to just shout a word or two.
Knowing that I wasn't strong enough to pull him back, which is maybe why he chose me in the first place. I think I don't even say it aloud. I think all I say to him is, "You're so fucking selfish."
You voice these bitter words as you struggle and try to resist. But Sweet is in control. And he just says,
I am protecting us.
Jackie, you watch as Verity is swarmed in the ribbons. And for a moment you think, oh, maybe this creature is gonna help us finish closing the portal. But it stalks over to Aiden, who's again pulsing this gold into the ground, being struck by the lightning. Frank is just dousing her in the water now to try and reduce the effect of this hellish magic that is striking her form. Missy's magic is fully on display. You see a pink aura forming around her forearms. And Verity, or the demon controlling Verity, stalks over, and as the Hellmouth is closing, ribbons lash around Aiden and thrust her forward into the Hellmouth, and she vanishes as it closes behind. The dark ribbons are severed as the rift closes, and as soon as the Hellmouth is completely shut, the ribbons all retract and Verity is just left there in the ferns on their knees, and the woods are silent.
Was that supposed to happen?
I'm sorry.
What just happened?
That wasn't supposed to happen. He took over. I couldn't stop him. I'm so sorry.
Open it back up.
How do we do that?
You're the demon. Open it up. It's a Hellmouth.
I don't have magic. I just have him.
Verity, open it.
I can try and help.
Okay. Natalie.
Yes, Em?
I want to use big magic.
Go for it. We just did big magic. We'll do it twice.
I want to do reverse big magic.
Uh-huh.
You open it up for a second, we'll all reach in, we'll grab her, and we'll pull her back out. That's the plan?
No, I think I know what I need to do.
What are we doing?
Once we open it, you're going to have to lower me in, because then I'm going to need to get him to get her out.
Wait.
I'm going to need to get him to get off his sorry ass and get her out. Otherwise, you're going to let me go.
No, I'm not losing you too.
There is no me. It's just we.
This is wrong. This isn't how this is supposed to work. With a demon possession, they shouldn't fully take over. Are you sure this wasn't you?
He took over. I tried to stop him, but I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't stop him?
I didn't choose this. Look, we're gonna open this thing, you're gonna lower me in, and if he fucks around, you're gonna drop me. He needs to learn a lesson.
Frank,
Yeah,
your pager goes off.
I checked my pager.
Dispatch. All units. California Academy of Science Museum.
Guys, I'm sorry, we have to go back. We can't be here right now.
What? Why? We're just gonna leave Aiden? What could be more important?
There's a fire at the museum.
That's impossible. It's protected.
I just got the call from work.
The person who's protecting it is gone.
Aiden was defending the barrier around the museum. And all the hellhounds in the city, they didn't go away just because we closed the Hellmouth. They're still here.
Oh, shit. Shit, guys.
Her protection is gone. We need to get her back. I'm gonna do big magic. I'm gonna just do big magic right now. What do you need me to do big magic, Natalie?
Why don't you just roll a use magic roll right now?
Okay.
If you're following my advice, you get +1.
Okay.
How'd we do?
4 plus 4 is 8 plus 3 is 11.
Okay. You try to tap into whatever demonic magic was here. There's not much left. You guys did a really good job closing it. You had a celestial closing this with you. But what you feel as you place a hand amongst the dirt here is Sweet taking a sharp inhale of surprise.
Treachery! She lied. It was a distraction.
What do you mean it was a distraction?
See with my eyes, Verity Ames.
You see, as you dive into the dirt, the old dirt here of this place, before city, before forest, what was left here after the Celestial War, when it was handed off as a consolation prize to one of Biel's few surviving creations. You can see, and it's abstract, but just through Sweet's dominion over this area, that the fires that Azazel had been setting off in the city has created a spell circle, which is a summoning rune. And you can sense the presence of a much larger Hellmouth appearing right outside the museum, and a very large demon spawn. A demon spawn general is emerging and assaulting the folk barrier that has been placed around that hiding spot for the baby dragon. And Sweet just wails.
She is going to take them. She will claim our entire dominion.
I told you were being selfish.
We have to stop it.
Yeah, no shit. I'm going as fast as your legs will carry me.
Missy, you hear a familiar...
Oh, Chuck's here. We're in trouble without Aiden, but I think that everyone should get on the bus.
What approaches through the trees is not a bus.
Wait, what?
Having been to a haven recently, Missy, you have triggered the final piece of a long-running metamorphosis. You'll recall Aiden having said, "How long have you had your change worm?" And emerging from the underbrush, pushing branches and sticks and ferns away, is what I can only describe as a cat or pillar bus.
It's a cat bus. Of course it is.
Emerging in bright pink light from your back are a pair of brilliant butterfly wings, as you have finally completed your changeling process and become a true folk.
Whoa!
Do I have wings?
You do have wings.
Oh my god, I have wings!
This is really exciting, and we also have to go.
Okay, everyone get on the bus. Wait, if it's a caterpillar bus, is Chuck the bus? Is Chuck bus, or is he people?
You don't see anyone driving the bus, but you do see this caterpillar has a little bushy, mustache.
Chuck!
The bus was Chuck all along.
You look beautiful!
And you hear Chuck's voice emit through the front of the caterpillar.
Thanks. Speak for yourself.
Everyone, let's get on the bus!
I still can't get on the bus, correct?
You cannot, but you, like you say, can move as fast as Sweet's legs will carry you.
Yeah, and he feels pretty great about himself right now. Not. So he's going to be running fast. I'm essentially striding. And I think that if everyone's on the bus and the bus is bounding, I think that the ribbons are carrying me forward after the bus.
3 of you can hop inside of Chuck, the caterpillar bus, the change worm. It takes off with surprising speed for a creature that has many tiny legs and a kind of wormy body.
Cute.
Eyes that glow like headlights, and the interior illuminated carapace that you can sit on like seats, and these transparent dome-like openings that would have acted as windows for this to remain in a bus form. But yeah, Changeworm and your group bound through the woods, and as you exit, and we have a very fun montage of Verity and Sweet swinging across the Golden Gate as the Changeworm just leaps along the suspension wires, climbs to the top, and then rides all the way down. And you make it across the bridge and leap towards the museum, where you see slamming large, thick paws into the barrier and occasionally breathing a gout of fire out of 3 heads is a Cerberus creature, a hellhound of monstrous size.
That is one bad puppy.
Hunters, what would you like to do?
As we approach, I stick my head out the window and hold my chalice up and I go, "Hey, fire safety violation." And that's my big entrance announcement.
Yeah. Amazing, yeah. Is that a move? Big entrance?
No, I just really wanted to say it.
Should be.
Yeah, gosh. What would you like to do against this hellhound?
I mean, I'm going to start spraying it with the chalice hose. Or is it still a hose, or is it now just back to a regular chalice?
I can try to help out to try to use the alchemy symbols again because I'm like, it worked once.
Do you want to try and enchant a weapon?
Sure.
Roll use magic.
Not very good at magic, but I rolled an 11 anyway.
Amazing! You're able to etch some alchemy symbols onto the inside of this chalice.
I think I have a Sharpie in my apron. So I'm like, 1 second. And I draw the symbols and a little incantation on it. It's just in Sharpie. I'm like, it'll work for now, okay?
Great.
Chalice is a fire hose again, Frank, and it's so good against hellhounds. You've seen it work wonders.
Yeah.
Why don't you act under pressure to try and put out this very dangerous monster?
I still have my 1 held, so I can take +2 forward on an act under pressure.
Incredible.
Heck yeah.
So I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Act under pressure it's going to be a 12.
You do what you set out to do.
Holding it like I'm holding a fire hose, I step out of the caterpillar and I just start blasting it with a stream of holy water.
This immediately is going to get its attention and it will turn to face you. You can see that the barrier is damaged, parts of it look like broken glass, just the symbols sort of crack, fall, and shatter apart into gold light, leaving empty spaces, around the museum. But I think you can see the 3 folk inside. All of their hands are glowing, each of them trying to reinforce this barrier to protect the haven capsule inside. What are the rest of you up to as Frank combats the 3-headed Cerberus with this magic chalice?
I see Frank start this fight and he's running ahead again like always. So Verity runs forward too. And as I'm running, I say to Sweet, listen, all night, you and I haven't been working as a team. And we need to be if we want to beat this thing and just get out of this. You have been reckless, you have been selfish, and I've just been out here trying to keep it together for the both of us. You're probably hungry, and you're not yourself when you're hungry, so you're gonna go feed on that giant hellhound, and I'm not gonna hear any more about it, or there'll be no more cake for 2 weeks.
Sweet says,
For you, Verity Ames, I will do this thing.
Good. So let's fucking go. And I have my my demon girl transformation. And I think instead of Sweet's eye in the center of my face, they're mine.
I like that a lot.
And I am going to attack.
Roll kick some ass. Unless you would like to make this a magical attack against this hellhound.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. I have 7 plus 3 is 10. I'm going to banish it.
Ooh, okay. So this hellhound is very powerful. I don't think you're going to be able to banish it entirely by yourself, but...
Could I help her with the magic, since I'm all pink and sparkly now?
Yes. Missy, I'll have you roll the same use magic roll. Now that your folk powers have fully manifested, you recognize that that's why you were able to banish the previous hellhound.
Okay, here we go. I got a 10.
No glitch for you either. Okay.
I rolled my preparedness so that I have salt in my apron.
Ooh, yeah.
I want to try and line myself up, but I'm going to turn around and try and throw salt over my left shoulder at the demon. And I'm like, we're kind of mixing a bunch of lores here to figure out if this one's going to work, but it could.
Yeah, roll use magic. I'll let you in on this. We're doing triple big magic in this episode, which is unprecedented, but I love it.
Okay. I got a 7, so I get an effect and a glitch. But I have something else I want to do with that too. I'll say I take 1 harm. I think I get too close trying to pull this off and something goes wrong there.
Okay. Then it is good that I just rolled protect someone. Sweet. The tendrils shoot out and lash at this Cerberus, closing one of its mouths and just sort of wrenching its attention away from Frank as you continue to pelt another head of it with the chalice. Missy, your pink fairy-like abilities begin to course around this thing, and its fire begins to diminish, but there is still the central head as Jackie runs forward with this handful of salt.
I also use my ability Precise Strike. When I inflict harm on a monster, I can aim for a weak spot. Roll plus tough. On a 10 plus, which is what I rolled an 11. I do 2 additional harm.
Incredible. You charge up this salt in your hand, Jackie. This is the coolest night you've ever had. This is the coolest you've ever felt. You hurl this salt forward and it begins to sparkle like Missy's magic. Maybe you've had magic powers this whole time too. You just didn't know it.
Yeah, books are magic.
Reading is powerful.
Knowledge is power.
The salt catches in this thing's central eyes and it screams and roars, and a fire builds in its throat and it just breathes it out towards you, Jackie. However, from the open summoning portal on the lawn of the museum, we see a gold streak rocket out and then slide in front of you, and 4 wings of light form a shield that this fire courses around, splayed off to the side and above and around you, as we see Aiden having returned from the place apart.
Holy shit. I'm in her wings?
You are being blocked by 4 of her wings as she takes up this defensive stance in front of you, backlit by the flames. Her face is all covered in soot. Her hair is a mess. Her jacket's all braided like she was in a sandblaster. So she looks a mess, but she kind of just wipes some grit from her mouth and says, "Hey, are you okay?"
Jackie leans in because she's gonna kiss her.
She holds a hand up and stops you. Sorry, I'm not single.
Oh, did I misread the signal? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just have a girlfriend already.
Yeah. Just battle and stuff.
Yeah, hey, listen, we should get out of here. I'm gonna pick you up now.
Okay.
And she will pick you up and fly you both out of the flames.
Still the best day ever. Carry me away.
Somehow I don't think picking her up and leading her from the fiery flames of death is going to help.
Listen, she's Aiden Brightwood, the rescue agent. She's here to save people.
Yeah, just pulling Aladdin without a magic carpet. That's totally not romantic, yeah.
Classic Aiden. She's a heartbreaker, what can I say? Sweet and Verity. Your friends are doing a number on this Cerberus creature, and the Hellmouth stands there, open and in front of this creature. What do?
Well, you've already had practice tonight, so we just gotta push that thing back through the portal.
Act under pressure.
Okay. That's a 6.
No.
Okay. Sweet struggles against this creature. This is a powerful demon spawn that Azazel has sent here after the dragon. This is her, final gambit. And Sweet, you can hear them, exerting their demonic magic and trying to life drain as much as they can, but this Cerberus is fighting back, despite being harried by all your friends. You hear Sweet panting, and he says,
Verity Ames, I cannot defeat this creature. They are too strong.
Well, maybe I can help you. There has to be something we can do, something we haven't tried yet.
I could pull from the other side of the Hellmouth, act as an anchor to their demonic essence.
If we go through that portal, could we come back?
I don't know.
Okay, let's do it.
It is more than likely a one-way trip, Verity Ames.
I know, and it's okay. Listen, you have been a total ass tonight, but I'm not letting you do that alone. And if that's what it takes to stop this thing, I'll go with you. I don't want you to be alone, Sweet.
Very well.
Sweet swells in size, pushing the limit of his demonic form, tendrils whipping and lashing into the Cerberus and around the edge of the Hellmouth. And with a running leap, you tackle the massive hellhound and dive through the portal. Everyone, you watch as Verity's demon form and the Cerberus drop from sight into the Hellmouth. Verity, as you pass through the Hellmouth, you start to feel sand whip at your face and wind howl in your ears, the roar of the Cerberus as it hurtles away and is swallowed up by a dust storm. You are falling, but you are not alone. You see falling beside you as you both race towards an endless, barren, red desert landscape. Sweet is there beside you, the mass of tendrils and eyes separate from you, save for a few last black ribbons that are straining to keep you near each other.
What are you doing?
If I release you, Verity Ames, there is a chance you will survive.
What about you?
Through the last few black tethers between you, Verity, you feel a flood of emotion and memory from Sweet. And you now know that what they told you about the danger it would pose for you to separate from them was just another selfish lie. You see Sweet now as they are, a truly miserable, broken creature. A demon spawn created eons ago, the dawn of the Celestial War, which shattered paradise and created the small shards of it known as the Havens, where the folk reside. It scorched the earth. It led to Aiden's exile because she did not choose a side and chose instead to protect the fledgling humans. And when the fighting was ended and the truce established, the demon lords sent to the place apart, Sweet was left on the earth, gifted a piece of scorched dirt, or perhaps just abandoned to it, where they remained alone for eons. And then something happened when the revelation occurred 2 years ago and the world changed. Sweet was afraid and lashed out at something to cling to, which is when they stumbled onto you. The last 2 years you were together were the most interesting and pleasant time Sweet has ever experienced. The two of you are falling towards an oblivion you cannot fathom the extent of. Frank, you see Sweet's dark ribbons being pulled into the Hellmouth, gripping at the edges, but slipping.
I just start running to the edge of the Hellmouth, and I dive, and I have my axe, and I yell, "Grab the axe!" And I'm gonna go so that I'm right at the edge of the Hellmouth, and I'm gonna try to hook onto the tendril.
The tendrils wrap the axe, and Verity, you feel a tension line being pulled around your midsection.
What was that?
Your friends haven't closed the portal yet. You still have a chance to escape.
Sweet, I'm not leaving without you.
When have I ever listened to you, Verity Ames?
And Sweet's tendrils wrap around you, Verity, not into or merging with you, just around you. And with a cry of effort, they extend these tendrils, pushing you back towards the open hellmouth above. Missy, you see Frank sliding along the ground towards the hellmouth as the tendrils continue to be sucked towards it.
Ooh, Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
I can trap a person in a place and banish a creature from a place, but I can also summon a monster into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Does Verity and Sweets count as a monster?
Technically, yes.
Can I summon them to this place?
Please describe as you magically try to summon them back from the place apart.
So, even though hell magic isn't really my thing,
Missy sees Sweet and Verity slip past the lip of the hellmouth, and Frank rushing over with his axe, the tendrils threading across it to try and hang on. And Missy thinks of how many places she's been and remembers now all the time she spent on the bus, moving between spaces, being a bridge for people as she wandered, and thinks,
Well, I've never bridged dimensions, but there's no time like the present.
so she reaches to that place in herself that used to reside alongside her heart, that is now spread throughout her entire being because she is magic now. She always was magical, but now she knows. The magic is her, and she is it. Pink energy starts to flow and cascade from her hands, her arms, from the tips of her wings to the soles of her feet. And she sends rays of rainbow prismatic energy through the Hellmouth and tries to create this net of light to catch Sweet and Verity and pull them back from hell.
These strands of prismatic ribbons intertwine and start to braid together with Sweet's tendrils, lifting Verity closer and closer to the mouth of the portal. Jackie, you and Aiden, superhero land here on the lawn, right near the Hellmouth. Aiden rushes over to grab a hold of Frank. She tries to pull him back and away from the Hellmouth. Her feet dig into the ground here, cracking the stone.
She's so strong.
What do you do to help?
Jackie is so well studied. Jackie has memorized the lore, but Jackie is me and I am her. And in this moment, I think all she does is try to wrap her arms around Aiden and pull on Aiden, who's pulling on Frank, because the brain cell is otherwise occupied.
You've got one brain cell and it loves a hot angel. I get it.
I got one brain cell that's gay as hell.
Like, are you helping pull or are you just hugging her?
No, I'm helping pull. I am helping pull. But Jackie is so hilariously weak compared to both of you that I don't know if it's doing anything.
I'll tell you what does help, though, is you have your apron, right?
I just have an apron of holding because it has canonically everything in it.
So I think you hear and Chuck the changeworm comes over and with his little caterpillar like whisker mouth will like grab onto the back of your apron to also start like pulling along with
like
you.
A little kid with a leash in the mall and a harness.
Yes.
Iconic.
And nothing can take me off my beautiful angel crush. So I'm just like bringing them all with me.
Incredible. Verity, you are here, half suspended between the desolate place apart and the material plane as your friends try to pull you out of the Hellmouth. Sweet, stretching their tendrils to push you closer and closer to the portal's entrance. Sweet shouts at you through your weakening connection.
Go, Verity Ames. I lied to you. Caused nothing but trouble. Your life has been worse because of me.
Sweet, you can't go. I don't even know your real name.
Verity, Missy's magic nearly has you through the Hellmouth, and as the winds whip at your face, you see Sweet's form below you. The eyes close, and you hear one final thought in your mind through the last tendril connecting you to him.
My name is Wyatt Soul.
Verity remembers what Jackie said earlier in the evening and what she saw Aiden do. There's power in names and there's power in promises. And she calls out,
Wyatt Soul, I want to be your friend. And if you come back to me, I promise I won't abandon you.
Black runes burst from your outstretched hand, Verity, and rush towards Sweet's distant form. They spiral and reinforce the tendril still connecting your chest to his and grasp, reaching out desperately for him. You see the eye in the middle of his face opens and a tear slipped from it.
You have a rare spark, Verity Ames. It's a deal.
The black runes reach Sweet. They pierce his form and bind around him. The writhing tendrils suddenly stretch as though some inexorable force were attempting to instantly spaghettify Sweet's body. But that force is you, Verity. And as the hellmouth threatens to close with one final pull, your friends lift you out, and Sweet snaps to you like a slingshot. And you all fall back into the grass, the hellmouth sealing shut.
Are we all here?
Is anybody dead?
Yeah, I'm good.
This has been the worst day ever.
Yeah, agreed.
It's been a day. I know what day it is now, though.
Oh my god, do my parents think I'm dead?
You all clearly have a lot of stuff to work through, but I'm gonna go check on the dragon. And Aiden gets up and starts running up the steps of the museum.
Oh, okay, bye. I'll call.
Bye.
Jackie, are you both a witch and have a girlfriend now?
Nope, that's not a thing. I'm not single.
Okay,
Because
well,
you're dating Jackie now, right?
it's like a will they, won't they thing. I have a fanfic about it.
Are you going to read that one to me as well?
Yeah. I'll read you the sanitized version.
Thank you.
Okay, so any hope of me getting any work done or hitting my deadline tonight evaporated after that first hellmouth. So here's my pitch. We go back to 8-bit. I need a drink, I want some cake, and he owes us all big time. So you can ask Sweet as many questions as you want.
I have so many questions. I have some annotated books I would love to corroborate.
Do you guys want to play some board games when we get there?
Yeah, I really do. I'd love that, actually.
I got trapped in a board game once.
You know, Missy, that doesn't surprise me at all.
You're the most interesting friends I think I've ever had.
We see Chuck the Changeworm re-glamour as a bus. And the doors open up.
Can I get on the bus now? Chuck, I promise that every time I'm on the bus, this passenger will keep the other passenger in check.
50 cents.
I gotta pay every time I ride?
50 cents.
Here, wait, I got change. I'm putting the change in Chuck's hand.
The quarters disappear, and Verity, if you're getting on the bus, he stops you and then reaches behind your ear and pulls out the quarters and gives a little smirk.
That's pretty good, Chuck.
Seem all right.
Thanks, buddy.
I sit so prim and proper on this bus, I don't touch anything.
Chuck, the Caterpillar bus, drives off with all of you back to 8-Bit Sexy. It is 3 a.m. here in San Francisco. Not a fire in sight. And that's where we'll end our session.
I am definitely fired.
We will perhaps see what happens to this group of friends in another adventure, but for now, thank you to my amazing guests. This has been absolutely wild. Let's very quickly go around and let everyone know where they can find you on the internet and any projects you'd like to plug.
I'm Kelly McLaughlin from Dungeon Dudes. You can find me on all social media and especially on YouTube. You can also check out the Dungeons & Dragons books I've published under the Drakenheim setting. So check that out. Check all of that out. Kelly McLaughlin, Dungeon Dudes. And thank you. It's been a pleasure.
I'm Em Carlson. I am the creative director over at Blackwater D&D. We play our main campaign Monday nights at twitch.tv/BlackwaterD&D. We also have a award-winning podcast called God Killer Oblivion, and we're in the midst of recording season 2, God Killer Balance. Please stay tuned for all that. You can find us on socials everywhere at Blackwater D&D, and it is absolutely me you're talking to if you engage with anyone with Blackwater D&D on the internet. Natalie, this was a treat. Thank you so much. I love these adventurers. I will remember them fondly and desperately want to play with them all again. Thank you so much.
I am Gnome Ann, or Ann the Gnome across the internet. Friendly neighborhood TTRPG Gremlin. Project I have on the go right now is Beach Episodes. It is a D&D show that skips past all those adventures and quests and plots and all that stuff and gets to the important bit. The filler episodes between arcs. It's a whole show of just beach episodes. And that's it.
That sounds awesome.
It's so good.
I love that so fucking much.
A whole D&D campaign with no campaign at all.
That's exactly why I started a Monster of the Week show.
That's very on brand for you. That's very on brand for you.
Yeah. And in addition to that, I GM and produce lots of shows in different systems, including Kids on Bikes and Moonlight on Roseville Beach, and many, many more. So follow me on the internet, and I'll tell you all about them.
Hi, I'm Persephone Valentine, and I played Missy Thorpe. I go by Persephonoth on the internet. You can find me on Twitch and Blue Sky at Persephonoth. And you can also find me on dropout.tv. I do a lot of stuff there, and there's some new stuff coming on the horizon, so be sure to tune in.
Woo! And if anyone is new to the Storyteller Squad and has come here because you are a fan of our lovely guests, thank you so much for giving this a listen. I'm Natalie Fuinha. You can check out our main series, which is more Monster of the Week adventures like this one that I make with my usual cast, aka The Squad.
Woo!
We have all sorts of onboarding points for you to jump into our campaign, and you can meet my cast and I at various gaming and pop culture conventions where we give panels and sell all sorts of queer, lo-fi, cryptid-themed merch. You can learn more on our website, thestorytellersquad.com, or check out our socials. We are at Story Squad Cast, anywhere that still matters. And you can listen to more of our episodes on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you so much for joining us, adventurers. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 See ya.